ceremonial oath for presenters. Please be advised as you are here present to present today that you are under oath before Commissioners Court. Public comments? We have one public comment. Ladies. Mr. Daniel M. Gonzalez regarding item 3.21 to authorize Commissioners Court to use public funds, county employees, and/or county equipment to assist with maintenance of the Mount Hope Cemetery, being a historic cemetery at least 50 years old. Go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Your Honor. I provided each of you a package. I provided a copy to Ms. Lewis. And anytime Ms. Lewis has needed my assistance, I've been able to help her.
Yeah.
So this time they didn't contact me. My concern with item 3.21 is that we can't get around the exceptions that are contained in the code, the same code that is cited in the item section 1 or 713.28B, and it has exceptions to A, and one of it's a perpetual care cemetery. So that's my concern. First of all, that it may be a perpetual care cemetery. Mount Hope has rules and regulations. They send out annual due cards each year. All right, you pay the lifetime dues, you get a certificate for those lifetime dues. And if you don't pay, now you're getting sued by Mount Hope Cemetery. Now, discussing it briefly with Mrs. Lewis, there's still a question about whether it's perpetual cemetery or not, but they posted on the internet a post saying the dues are due, lifetime payments are put into a CD for perpetual care. All right, let's assume that you get over the hurdle of perpetual care. Then you've got the second exception, which is the fraternal organization. And a nonprofit organization qualifies as a fraternal organization, and therefore section 713028, you got to follow the exemptions. So we're not allowed to assist in the maintenance. People are already paying for the maintenance of their graves and having to pay lifetime dues in order for perpetual care, basically. So that becomes an issue. The other thing is, if you do approve it, has anybody thought about discussing an indemnity clause? An indemnity clause would be with Mount Hope, because if Mount Hope continues to sue citizens and constituents of ours for non-payment of dues, and you've approved maintenance, you know, can we be dragged into a lawsuit as a possible third party and have to defend ourselves in each and every lawsuit that Mount Hope files? So that's a concern as well. We need to be careful with that. And if you're going to ignore the exceptions and proceed and say we're going to maintain Mount Hope, then
30 seconds, Mr.
make sure there's an indemnity clause. And I guess I have more to gain by you passing it, because I have loved ones buried there. I have a lot when I'm gone, and you know, right now I'm having to still, even though I pay lifetime, still have to go maintain my own grave sites and my parents' grave sites. So I'm just cautioning you, be careful with that. The exceptions apply, and you should table it and have the civil attorneys look into it a little bit closer. And then also discuss with Mount Hope possible indemnity clause if we're going to go this route. Thank you.
Thank you.
Regular response to that?
No, it's a public comment. Thank you. We'll call you whenever the agenda items are.
Okay.
Yeah.
May 18th, 2026.
Motion to approve, subject to local request.
I have a motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.1, informational mutual aid completion form by precinct 3.
Judge, on this one, it was just informative, here Teresa passed down. Mr. Franklin, requested that whenever we do anything with the, city of Big Wills, that we bring it through Commissioners Court to ratify it after the fact through our mutual aid. So these were just two projects that we did with the city of Carrizo, and more of a breakdown of what happened. So we did estimate the first project to be 2 days, and it ended up being 3 days. Precinct 3 used the loader, the zipper, and the paver. The work was done on Nabal Highway 277. We used 2 employees for that project. And then the second one, we just did hauling. The city did the demo and the loading.
Is this precinct 2 or precinct 3?
So precinct 2 helped with this one. So precinct 2 did the water truck, but I think it was just a type over. And then the second one, the county just did the hauling, the city did the demo and the loading. That was on Valdez Street. And that work was 2.5 days.
3.1, approval of bonds.
I've got 2, Judge.
We have a bond for the district clerk's office, and both from the district clerk's office.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.2, monthly report from Constable Precinct 1, Mr. Rudy Lopez for the month of May.
Morning.
Morning.
Questions of Constable Lopez?
Everything up and running in your unit? I know I spoke to you last and you said that your ticket issuing system was working flawlessly as well, right?
Yes.
Just making sure.
Motion to approve, Judge.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Talamantes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you. Monthly report for precinct 2, Mr. Andres Arambula.
I don't have.
Do you have your?
Good morning. Permission to approach, Your Honor?
Yes. Morning.
Morning, sir.
Constable, has your new unit been ordered?
Yes. Well, the PO is not going through, so, I don't know if the commissioner can speak to that. I don't have, PO for that.
So you just don't, it hasn't been ordered yet?
They're working on, Commissioner Urena's office on where to get the actual funding from, because there was an issue in regards to what the CO funding was. But Melissa's talking to, yeah.
Okay. So do you have a new ticketing system or not yet?
Pardon me?
Do you have a new ticketing system or not yet?
No, not yet.
Motion to approve.
Does anybody else have any other questions? For the constable? If there are no questions, I have a motion by Commissioner Talamantes, second by Commissioner Urenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Constable.
Thank you.
3.4, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase lighting radar camera system for new unit for precinct 2, paying from precinct 2 Commissioner CO.
May I approach, Your Honor? As you see, Judge, I highlighted some of the items that are added besides the lighting.
Is this buy board?
Pardon me?
Is this buy board?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, with the purchase of the truck, they're right next door, so it would be outfitted right then and there. So when it is,
So
when you get it.
this amount, the 47,500, that's additional from the price of the truck?
Yes, the truck is separate, and then, if you remember, I had gotten a quote from Alvarado, but he's not buy board. So I would have to get the pickup and then get it to his shop. With this, it all come ready to go with the radio, gun mount, camera system, radar. Graphics and, decals and,
Do you have a guesstimate of what Alvarado was charging for these?
it was, it was 36,000, I believe, but
35,000.
that was not including the radio, because he's not authorized to program and stuff like that, or tint, or graphics. So basically, this was a one-shop stop, so, and it was comparable, so.
I don't see maybe I'm just not looking at the record, but I don't see the number for the buy board. They usually put you a code.
That's what I was gonna suggest.
I don't see it, I don't see up here either, the buy board, that's what I was asking.
Okay, I mean, I can call him.
I don't see in here, the buy board, and if it's not buy board, then it would kind of be the same as
Yes.
Alvarado, where you have to get the 3 quotes.
No, he's, because I specifically called him for that.
Most of the time, Constable Arambula,
Pardon?
they print the buy board number on the paper, and it's on there, but we don't see it here.
I can get that number within a couple minutes.
So we're looking at like a
Wow.
12,000 difference for the radio, the tent, and the graphics. How much does that usually cost on average? Like how, the biggest expense that I would see would be the radio. What is the cost of the radio just by comparison?
You're asking me?
Yes.
I mean, I think normally, about 10,000.
I think it,
So it's like
Yeah.
around the
Yes.
ballpark.
yes, if I remember correct, I think it was 11.5,
Okay.
around that ballpark. And then you just have to get it programmed.
Okay.
Constable, do you know
Pardon?
if Dimmit County's ever used this company before in the past?
I have not.
We have not,
We have?
not in the 3.5 years of it. The sheriff's office has.
Well, that's what I meant, Dimmit County,
Yes, we have.
we have?
Yes, sir.
So, question, they're buy board, correct?
Well,
They've always been since we bought the vehicles, but we've always gotten it from Alvin Chevrolet, but it came with a price, so that's what they use for government.
So what the sheriff is saying is that they've always bought their vehicles from Chevrolet and it comes with the package. So there's not 2 different vendors, it's just one vendor. Although it might be a high probability that Chevrolet uses Cap Fleet to outfit the vehicle, but when the county purchases it, it's strictly from Chevrolet.
It already comes packaged.
that's coming with it.
And Commissioner, you're, pulling it from their COs?
Yes,
I know, considering that they're saying that the radio is about 10,000 in that ballpark, if the prices are comparable and it is buy board, a motion to approve subject to the, stipulation that the buy board information comes before POs are issued.
Are there any other questions?
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Talamantes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. All in favor?
aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you.
3.5, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report for month of May from Constable Precinct 3, Robert Valderas and Juventino Torres.
Morning.
Good morning, Constable. How's the new unit running?
Chio's great, yes, he's using them, it's looking great. There's some, the next item, we just need to put something in his truck.
And do you have a new ticketing system?
Yes, I do in my truck, and his just got installed as well.
And is it working great for you?
We're just waiting, I think, on a chip, a SIM
From
card
IT?
from IT, yes.
Are there other questions of his report?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any oppositions? Motion carries. 3.6, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase body cams and radios for precinct 3.
On that one, Judge, it's gonna be a body cam, dash cam included. The radio, I never, put that in there, so there's radios, out of the question on that one. It has a radio already.
So you're asking to approve for body cams only?
Yes, because Parkway was unable to install due to.
You mean body cam for you, or you
For
mean
the
a
unit,
dash
the-
cam?
It's body cam, dash cam for the new unit that we purchased a while back, yes ma'am. That was the only thing that wasn't included in the package. They retracted the amount, but I'm gonna go ahead and purchase through my budget since I have the amount.
What was the dollar amount?
Yeah.
Because one of them says
One of them says
5,000, and the other one says 43,000 from RZ.
See, RZ Communications is Motorola. That's who we were gonna initially go with, but when we saw the price, we backed out on it quick. And, Alvarado is quoting us, so I'm not going through buy board, it's gonna be through quotes, and I want to be able to get a hold of 2 quotes. So Alvarado is gonna go through a 10.8 system, which a lot of the units we do have right now. And it's, a new, updated version.
So then it's gonna be the body cam / dash cam?
Yes,
It's a
ma'am.
dual combination?
Yes, sir.
And it's the radios?
No radios.
No
No
radio,
radios.
just the body cam / dash cam.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still missing the radio?
No, I have a radio.
So we're gonna do, for the 5,279.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Talamantes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Constable.
Thank you.
3.7, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Constable Precinct 4, Mr. Manuel Rosas and Connie Estrada for the month of May.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning. Same question, do you have the ticketing system yet?
Yes,
Is it up and running?
yes, everything's working on both units.
Anyone else have questions of Constable Rosas?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion.
Second.
You guys had a busy month.
I was gonna
Yes.
say.
Did you get the second or no?
I'm going. I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona and I have a second by Commissioner Uranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.8, discussion and appropriate action approved for Constable Manuel Rosas to attend the Public Information Officer course in Conroe, Texas.
You have the money in your training budget?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
Are there any other questions? If there are no other questions, I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Talamantes.
Will Ms. Connie be attending, or this time it would just be you?
No, it's just me, so, this passed on the new legislative update for, head agencies to have a PIO in place, and, the other councils have a MOU with me.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera.
One more question.
Go ahead.
Mayor, the PIO, which is the Public Information Officer, is that for the whole county or?
So, sheriff is gonna be attending the same one, I think he's gonna put it in
But
the
are
next.
y'all gonna do for the whole county if an incident happens or?
Correct. So for me, it'll be with the constables, and then for the sheriff, he's gonna attend the same one, he's gonna do it the next commissioner's court. The same, PIO course. Same day.
So, he's gonna be the PIO representative for the constable specifically, and what he's saying is that the sheriff is gonna be
Yeah.
attending, and the sheriff's gonna be the PIO for the sheriff's office. So, an incident occurs countywide, then if it's the sheriff that's going to the training, the sheriff would be the PIO for the sheriff.
Correct.
Correct?
Either or, yes, whoever's available.
Or if sheriff sends somebody else.
Who's our PIO right
I think what Constable Rosas is saying, I suppose that,
now?
Yes.
I'm just,
no, I suppose currently, correct me if I'm wrong, but I suppose that,
oh, it's with
Chief Ruth,
okay.
Chief Cenizalos is. But what he's
Thank
trying
you.
to say is that now legislative made it a requirement that there has to be a PIO, where in the past, Chief Cenizalos was doing it just to do, like, to give them information, but now it's a requirement for law enforcement, for a department of law enforcement to have a PIO. Correct?
Before September first, correct.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes,
Okay.
All in favor?
September first is the deadline to have a PIO in place.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
3.9, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from County Extension Agent Ms. Alyssa Cruz for the month of May 2026.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioner.
Morning.
For the month of May, I hosted 2 programs. The first program being a Ranching Responsibly program along with LaSalle County Agent. We had 10 participants. And then I also hosted an aquatic pond management program with 3 participants in attendance. I did attend the spring program planning conference in San Antonio as well. And then we participated in the Cruzel Springs Junior High outreach event, mental health event activity that they had for their students there. And then upcoming, I just wanted to share that Texas Farm Bureau is hosting a Young Farmers and Ranchers a regional event here at the arena on June 8th, and the focus is on specialty crop production. I will be there providing CEUs for some of our pesticide applicator attendees that will be there. I know free lunch is included. I'll go ahead and send y'all this information via email after today's Commissioner's Court.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Are there any questions of Mrs. Cruz? If there are no questions, I entertain the motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Talamantes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.10, discussion of appropriate action, approval for Extension Agent Alyssa Cruz to attend the District 12 Leadership Lab and 4-H Election Convention in Kingsville. I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3.11, motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.12, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from the rodeo arena event coordinator.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning.
Are there any questions of Mrs. Villar?
Mrs. Villar,
Do you have a way to send a QR code to submit for payment after they've already done the initial, reservation with the signing the contract, or no?
I don't currently have one. It's something that could easily be made, but one doesn't currently exist.
Okay.
But there's a link for them to pay online.
There is a link for them to pay online, and I do attach my business card to every single contract that I give, when somebody signs a contract, so it does have my email on there and, the website to pay.
I was just thinking like in line, so like kind of what the JPs are doing, like the text to pay with the people that wanna set up like payment, things. Like if there was something that was in play that kind of sent like a payment reminder to kind of, kind of organize a little bit of the payments. But, I was just wondering, honestly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Talamantes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
3.13, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Dimmit County Golf Course for the month of May 26th.
Motion to table.
Commissioner?
Motion to table.
Well, is it, because we have the report.
I have a motion to table by Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
Can you get it in?
I have a motion to table, so I'm entertaining the motion.
Okay, it's just because I thought we said that every 3 months was supposed to be the in-person and every month was supposed to just be the submitting of the reports for our department. And I just want clarification on that.
We did, Commissioner, and, unfortunately, the manager's not available today. She had a personal trip to make, but,
But is this your 3-month or is this your monthly?
no, this is my monthly. She's been coming in monthly still. This is, the report's here. She's
So,
the manager. I mean,
there's
it-
a law that I'll get you that, it's on the government code, so any, department that accepts money on a monthly or daily basis has to submit a monthly report. It's on the government code, I'll get that for you.
And
But he's asking for it to be
I know,
tabled.
but that's what I was just saying, like, I know that the monthly report has to be here and the monthly report is here. But we talked about like our employees being able to come in every quarterly rather than every month to kind of cut down on time. And as long as the report was here and the employee or the head of the department came in every quarterly basis, then we would accept the report.
And it's up to the court really. but
Correct.
The report is here, and if the court wishes to table, I don't have a problem with that. We can address it at the next commission court.
I have a motion to table by Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
I'll second it.
You second it. I have a second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.14, discussion and appropriate action, approval for new user account for the case management system, local government solutions, LGS, County Attorney Daniel M. Gonzalez, Admin Assistant Estela Villar, Dimmit County Courthouse, and approved quote for monthly fee of $665 per month for license of LGS Software County Attorney and Admin Assistant. There is also a $750 setup charge to set up communications from Southern Software to our system. This will be funded by OLS Grant 4375904. Mr. Gonzalez?
As y'all know, I received no money from OLS, but, thank you, Ms. Ortiz, he had $10,000 left over. He went to the grant, writer, and she offered the $10,000 for the system. I said, well, let's give it another shot. I tried before, it wasn't approved. Before putting this on the agenda, I went over to the sheriff's office and checked out their LGS system. I talked to investigators from the DA's office, see how it's working for them, with the sheriff's office. Also had a training from LGS on the system and to see whether it would be beneficial. I looked at other systems, FileMine, and there was another one I was gonna consider, but LGS, since the sheriff's office already has it, it may be compatible, it may assist them in turning in cases, that I'm not getting now. So, and then I'm looking at the future, that whoever comes in after I leave, that they have a case management system that they can work with, because right now for the last 25 years, we've had no case management system in our office.
Questions of Mr. Gonzalez?
Honestly, I love the idea of having a system in place to kind of organize and speed that process along.
that also would, include a paper trail.
Mr. Gonzalez, is OOS gonna pay the whole year?
Yeah, that's my understanding, this is for the whole year of contract, we have to renew it annually. Currently in the budget, I was given $15,000 in the current budget, to purchase the system, didn't have enough information on it at the time.
And if it gets approved, it'll start this month,
It should,
the year?
once the contract is signed, if the contract's not signed, then, I get no system. And we just continue manually like we've been doing.
Other questions of Mr. Gonzalez?
So after the first year, we're still going to pay what for the second year, and the years after that, what's gonna be the service charge?
That's gonna depend on LGS's fees, they may raise them from year to year, I don't know. And if I don't have the money in the budget, it's not there, then I don't renew the contract, it doesn't get renewed with LGS. If the money's not there, the money's not there.
Mr. Gonzalez, is this a monthly, month-to-month,
And
or is it a
Yearly.
yearly
the
contract?
contract's been presented, it was attached to the, request, so, my understanding, it's yearly.
Do you know where that comes?
Where would it come from?
No, I'm not, I said, do you know where the contract is, cause I don't see it.
The
I found it.
original is attached to the
I
request.
got it, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, I hadn't seen it initially. So it is a yearly contract.
So that would mean that come
So
budget time.
it would just cross over into the next OLS budget if not ready.
But I have to have money in the budget
Of
because if I
course,
don't
yes,
receive
you
any
don't.
money
I
from
understand.
more or less, then I get no
So,
management system.
Ms. Rodriguez, there's funding to pay for the $8,500?
Yes, so Mr. Ortiz had money left over and he transferred it to someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She had, requested an amendment for the purchase of this equipment, if I'm correct.
To the governor's office, Commissioner Noguera, you
So
have.
then 655 is the monthly fee. So we're looking at like $7,860 yearly.
No, it's a one-time cost for $6,050, which would be taken out of the addendum that they, got approved from the governor's office. It's a one-time fee, and then after that, it's $655 monthly.
That's what I'm saying, $655 monthly times 12 is $7,860.
Correct, but what Mr. Gonzalez is saying is that, when Ms. Rodriguez applies for OLS again, they will request that. However, if they don't, he's asking that it also be possibly, put in the county budget, that in case OLS doesn't give him that funding, it'll be funded through the county budget.
That's what I'm saying, so even if it gets funded through the OLS, we still need to set aside $7,860 on the budget to make sure that he still has it in place for the next year, just in case the,
Correct.
OLS doesn't get
Correct.
it.
Right, if
Correct.
you leave the 15,000 there, that's gonna be unused for the next budget, or budget the same amount, then it should be covered from year to year if you leave that amount.
Mr. Gonzalez, and can I ask you that, like with this system, whenever you do start to input them, would it also keep track of like any timestamps of like accessing the records or like inputting the records, anything like that? Would it timestamp all those things, like anything that's inputted into the system?
We're talking about different departments now. When I file cases, they're timestamped by the county clerk's office, not the sheriff's office. It may have a date and time when it's forwarded to my office by the sheriff's investigators, and then it may have a day or time when I accept it or request it. I can't tell you for sure. Talking to other court coordinators, say the 38th District Court Coordinator, she tells me I should be able to print out reports like crazy. But I've never used the system before, so it's hard to answer that question about dates and times. As it is right now, we're relying on manual stamps, dates and times, because we cannot open up a case until we manually file it with the clerk's office. Once we file it with the clerk's office, then we can start e-filing into that open case number.
So the way that the LGS system works is Mr. Gonzalez will open up a case number or a case file on LGS. Everything still has to be filed through the county clerk's office. Anytime that Mr. Gonzalez wants to input something, whether it's evidence or anything, because LGS can also be accessed through the cloud for other attorneys. And so it'll give a timestamp on there, like if Mr. Gonzalez put, I don't know, exhibit A on there, it'll show the date that he put on there, but it's not gonna give you a timestamp of everybody else like he was saying.
I'm not inputting the information, the sheriff department's inputting the information, I either accept it or reject
No,
it.
like your files, like
Yeah.
you can't,
Well,
because,
anytime I file something, I can add it onto, my system.
correct,
And, they may be able to be viewed by the sheriff department, by the clerk's office, just
Correct.
depends on whether they have access with their current, system.
correct.
But, what I'm hoping to do is also to assist in providing discovery to defense attorneys, because right now, we're having to copy, CDs or copy the thumb drives. We're having a big problem not being able to read the CDs.
And you can do that, of course, it might be an additional cost, but the LGS system allows you to do that through
It
the
does.
cloud. When I
does.
worked at the DA's office in Uvalde, that's how we were able to provide the defense attorneys, discovery, is we upload all the evidence that the DA's office has. You give them an email and a link, they get onto the cloud and they can download everything that the prosecutor puts onto to the LGS.
What I'm hoping to correct is a problem I'm having now receiving, CDs or videos and, thumb drives that I can't view. That's part of the evidence that I need to produce. Just last week, I talked to Toretto, on this issue, and he's the only one I'm talking to at the sheriff's office on this, nobody else will talk to me. And I do believe that's the reason for the training that they have under law enforcement, because we're trying to correct some of the problems that we receive in the cases and we reject the cases.
Who will talk to you, or what did you say, I'm sorry?
The only one that I'm talking to about the cases I'm receiving is Captain Toretto. I've removed the sheet on the desk, and I still can't have a meeting with the sheriff. I've been over to the sheriff department, they turned in 31 cases, I rejected 27. They weren't complete. Yeah.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second. You said that you removed the note from the desk and that you still haven't been able to meet, but that they submitted 31 cases.
I picked them up, ma'am.
So 31 cases?
He said he went to the sheriff's office, picked up 31 cases and rejected 27.
Yeah, when I went to go review the LGS, they offered me 21 cases, and then after the fact, I talked to Fred, and we went over the cases. He said, well, sorry, partner, I didn't review them. Well, you need to review them before you review them to me. Somebody needs to review them. And then I had one investigator tell me, well, you need to email me every time on all of my cases what I'm doing wrong. I'm not your supervisor. I am not your supervisor. I'm not gonna do that. And it's the same mistakes over and over and over and over again.
Mr. G, when you made the previous comment about that, nobody talks to you, or that only Sergeant Pedro talks,
He's the only one I can talk to.
but you also you kinda say it low, that nobody else wants to talk to you?
Well, he's the only one who called,
Or that
I think
you
that's
don't,
irrelevant.
and he's,
I heard something like that.
Yes, I
that's
did.
what I hear.
And he confirmed that he's the supervisor, so he's in charge of all the investigators, and that I'm supposed to deal directly with him, so I am. All right, my whole deal with the,
So if the investigators approach you, you mean to tell me that the police have to look for them?
not necessarily, it just depends on how they approach me. If they
Well, I
come
mean-
in with an attitude, because I got a call from an investigator saying, I don't know how to handle this illegal dumping situation in Ashton. I said, okay, come on in, let's talk. I called the code enforcer in, he was there at the meeting. And, I had all the information that I had received on there. What I wanted to tell the investigator was that there's a process that we can do that. We need to get additional cameras. I believe James Gonzalez talked to Commissioner Ocala about possibly getting additional cameras to post out there on if not anywhere else, on the Thornhill property, so that we could investigate and probably stop this illegal dumping. But the investigator and I got
Right,
no
that's
answer.
My question is,
I have no
how do you,
communication.
sir, my question is, how do you determine when they come in with attitude? I mean, to me,
Well,
anybody
to
can come.
avoid any
hold on,
problems,
sir.
let me ask you a question.
Let me finish, okay? It's part of the question. How do you determine when someone comes in with attitude? Yet I have people that come in and right away I'm gonna say, no, I'm not gonna talk to you because I feel that you have a bad attitude. I can
No.
determine that.
No, we're sitting there talking and it just gets
Well,
out
I
of
mean, you
hand.
just said that as soon as they
Yeah.
walk in, you notice that they come in a bad attitude.
You've been in.
To me, that's what it seems like.
You've been in that situation, sir. You've been in my office and I've
No,
had
I
to calm
understand, but
down.
I wanna know just, how you
I
determine.
give them the opportunity, and I'm there to help. If they don't want my help, and I'll tell you what actually happened, and, you know, I'm talking to Jeff Thornhill and then Mrs. Thornhill, and the next morning, we had the same investigator calling Mrs. Thornhill saying, well, we're not gonna be able to help you because the county attorney doesn't wanna help me, and I don't know what to do. But that's not true, because, you know, I called Ms. Thornhill after I asked him to leave my office and said, look, you know, I'm trying to work with him, I'm trying to tell him what to do. I've got a text message where I emailed Captain Beto, this is what you need to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, this is how you correct the problem. You know, if the officer and I can't come to that arrangement, he asks for the help, and they don't wanna listen to me, fine. I'll deal with the captain, I'll deal with the sheriff, I'll deal with whoever they wanna send my way. But I've already told them what they need to do to correct the problem.
I feel like we went off tangent a little bit. So,
Excuse me?
I feel like we went off course a little bit.
Sure.
But, I do think that, I like the idea of the system. I like that it could help organize it and probably help that flow go along, because at the end of the day, that was our main issue and our main concern, was the cases being accepted and it, you know, having a system of like the paper trail of what it was, of if they were being adjusted or if they were being taken in. So, I do like the idea of, it's not gonna do that?
It may help, Judge.
LGS system will help for Mr. Gonzalez to be able to keep track of the evidence at the sheriff's office.
But not of the cases.
But it's not, like he's just said right now, they gave him 31 cases and he had to reject 27.
So
You're not gonna
those
see
wouldn't
that.
fit, and that they will,
You're not gonna see that on the system.
Cause right now that he said,
This LGS system is a system that helps everybody kind of be on the same page. I'm telling you, because I've used it twice before. And so this LGS system kind of puts everybody on, like, we're on the same playing
Yeah.
field. Like, he'll have access to it, the clerk's office has access to it, the judges will have access to it, and we'll be able to see on there what has been filed, what has been, like, the docket, the court date, all that, that's what that system is. This LGS system has nothing to do with how many cases the sheriff's office is gonna take him or not. That has nothing to do with that. That Mr. Gonzalez will have to, keep a track of how many cases they've taken him. That doesn't resolve the issue. I mean, obviously, and I don't think Mr.
So then my next question
Gonzalez is gonna
to
lie.
that.
I mean, if
So
he
my
says
next
they turned
question
in
was-
31 and he rejected 27, what happens to those 27? Like, are you getting info on it? Are they fixing it?
hold on,
or-
can I
No.
finish my question? Cause you're saying that it's a communication system. So the LGS, so like, let's just say you do upload like evidence document, whatever paperwork that it is, if somebody goes in there and removes it or alters it, would it also leave like the trail that it was?
Yes, and, you know, I hate to see that it be altered because then we're gonna get in trouble as, you know, I've been
Well,
in
like,
trouble
does it
with
monitor
certain
it just in case it would be, is my question.
But the way
Like,
the
the-
LGS system works
Here's-
is that everybody has their own user ID and information. So nobody can go in there to alter anything. If Ms. McDaniel goes in there to alter something for him, we're gonna know it was Ms. McDaniel because.
That's what I was asking.
Yes, so everybody has their own
It has a
username,
digital
correct,
timestamp.
everybody has their own username and ID. So nobody can go alter anything, if they go alter it, it's gonna tell you on there that it was Ms. McDaniel, or it was the judge's office, or it was the county attorney, or the sheriff's office, whoever has access to LGS. No one
So
can
it just has
alter anything.
digital tracking is what the main question I was asking, was to have digital tracking for the information that is being uploaded into it. I don't think that $7,860 to put into the budget seems like a big difference just in case it doesn't get funded by the OLS. I would hope that we would come up with something. I think that as long as you're having communication with somebody in the sheriff's office, that is the goal that we hope to aim for, and that's something that's happening obviously, because you have communication with at least one representative from the sheriff's office. I do think that the emails is a good idea, because if you send the email and you send it one time, you'll always have that time step of showing that you already corrected the issue, whatever's going on with the reports that are being turned in. So I do think that the sheriff's office asking you to email them, and I know that you said that you're not their supervisor, I would plead to see that I would think that that would be a good outcome in the long run. I don't think that 7,800 is a lot to ask for to, and it, especially if it has a digital, tracking of it, I think that that is fine, but I would still think that we need to seriously think about our cases and how they're being uploaded and how they're being presented and like how they're being rejected, because at this point, are we up on a percentile? And I don't know if we can even ask that on this question because it's not on the agenda item.
You're up to 89 percentile, we've been there for a while, I check it monthly,
Okay.
we get the report from the DA's office. This is a summary of everything I've been doing since the last time I was attacked in Commissioner's Court. I've got a summary of everything in
Mr.
there.
Gonzalez, why do you
Ma'am.
say attacking Commissioner's
Because
Court?
you were very incorrect, ma'am, it wasn't my fault
Mr.
about
Gonzalez,
that.
you're
'Cause
going off tangent to something else
You,
because at the
you
end of the day.
brought it up, you opened the door, ma'am. So, you know, even in the last email there to the sheriff's office, when they were requesting an investigation of one of the commissioners, the sheriff, you know, can drive all the way to Maverick County and meet with the DA, but he can't come to my office in Carrizo Springs and talk to me about the cases being presented. That's a problem. Okay, the email's in there. But I do keep track in my office of, what cases I accept and reject. And then if the officer or Captain Prento wants to come in and review all the cases with me, I'll sit down with him. I sit down with, Captain Chavez with DPS when I reject their cases. They have cases that didn't file, but we need to destroy some weapons. I filed their motions for them. So, you know,
So just to answer your overall question, Commissioner Talamantes, this system is not going to provide you any answers or any, sense of,
I just don't understand how we cannot seem to.
I know, but what you're asking for is like completely different, like, that's gonna be something between the sheriff and the county attorney and how he accepts cases and his prosecutorial discretion on like, LGS has nothing to do with, how he accepts cases, how many he rejects, that, you're not gonna find that in the LGS system
Judge,
at
what
all.
we get from the DA, we can see what was rejected, what was sent back, and what was submitted, that's a report it would be able to pull out
Through LGS?
through LGS, yes.
So in essence, Mr. Gonzalez,
But not on this system that he's purchasing.
it
be
should
good
be,
because
it should be, but that's not, any different from the
Sheriff, so is there a way
hand
through the
enforcement
LGS
facility.
system to be able to keep track of the cases that are submitted and rejected by both offices?
yes, we get a printout from the district attorney's office, it shows the same thing, what was submitted, what they rejected, or if they sent something back to us, we'll know it was sent back to us, or what was, forwarded to the prosecution for the, what's gonna get indicted.
Okay, so if we're gonna approve for LGS system, then I would think that it definitely needs to have that component in there where we can keep track of it.
I'm told it hasn't.
I just asked you if it did, and y'all guys all told me no.
No, we didn't say no. I told that it hasn't. I told you it would be beneficial to both offices if we have to put in support. You're asking to send emails.
Users, hosting fee, the
Mr.
data
Gonzalez,
back.
all I said was that the email was a good idea to be able to have a paper trail digitally to be able to keep track of what's being rejected and why it's being rejected. Because at the end of the day, I can't argue with you for the reasons that you're rejecting cases because that is your area and
Thank you.
only you know why you're rejecting those cases. But what I can argue is you're not accepting the cases and them even hitting your desk for review. That was my issue, is that the
I don't think
cases.
he's-
The door's still open. You can go pick up the rest of the cases, ma'am.
Now it is.
Go pick them up.
I'm,
We're still about
okay.
125 short.
If we're gonna
64
convert
have
to an
been
LGS
dismissed
system,
by
and,
the sheriff's
okay,
office.
and I'm waiting to have that conversation, I've actually been waiting for this agenda item to get put back on Commissioner's
So
Court,
was I.
because
I was ready.
I've put it on twice, you know, the judge said that she was gonna put it on at one point, it hasn't gotten put on. I honestly don't wanna create more tension in the subject, because the main goal is for the cases to start getting processed and it being done the way that it's supposed to be
All
done.
I've been asking for.
I tried to call your office, you know, you haven't been in communication with me either, and you haven't allowed a conversation to take place with me and you either. That's what I'm saying. At least the benefit of the fact that there's still somebody from the sheriff's office that willing to communicate you, that communication is still there between the both offices to make sure that something is getting done. But what I asked you was, if the LGS system was able to keep track of cases that are being submitted and being rejected, and obviously something in the note caption of why the rejection was there, then we would have the paper trail that we need to be able to correspond between the two offices to keep a trail. So if the system that he's not picking judge, and if it costs more, I would say we need to check to see how much the system would cost to be able to keep track of that, so that way it's something that's included in the system that we're gonna get him. Because again, I don't see an issue with you getting the system and for it to be able to communicate better, and I applaud you for trying to dive into the digital aspect of trying to run the office, and I applaud you for that, I really do. But if there's more out there with the system that we can be getting, then that's something that we definitely need to be looking at.
You can speak to Angela Short, I'll be happy to provide the number to you, if you want, or you can talk to the grant writer and she can get you the information. Oh, you're right, absolutely.
Alex Sanchez is the representative for LGS, and he resides here in Carrizo. I spoke with him prior to, coming over here. He did advise that whatever the sheriff's office has would be what the county attorney gets as well, plus more, and he can connect them both together so that they will work.
Well, that means that it would improve and
Yes.
help you manage your cases, since y'all will be better connected. So
Right.
with that said, I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a motion by Commissioner Miranda, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.15, discussion and appropriate action, approval.
Yeah, one last thing. And Commissioner, in your response that I'm not communicating with you, when you're ready to apologize to Commissioner's Court to me, then I'll be more than happy to speak to you then. Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez, I have no need to apologize to you for nothing. At the end of the day, I think it is what it is, Mr. Gonzalez, and if apology is what you're waiting for, I think that's a childish,
Then you have no need to speak with me further now. Thank you.
3.15, to approve the resale of property account number 12903 pursuant to Texas Tax Code 34.01.
Go Spurs, go. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. All right, so thank you very much for passing that along. I had this structured internally just for us. I'm giving you my little cheat sheet here. I know my staff gave you guys a lot of information on these upcoming items. So the first one, 3.15, is actually item 3 in that little packet that you were just handed.
Can you speak into the mic, Mr. Cause I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Is it on? Okay, there we go. So, for the packet you just received.
This one right here?
Yes, Judge. You'd be looking at item number 3 for 3.15. That's for account number 12903. The recommendation is to approve the private resale bid that came in at $11,539 for this property. That does exceed the minimum bid, which was at time of sale the $9,670.10 for this property account. The property sits north of the Family Dollar, and as you see on the map there, it sits in the middle of 4th Street, or it's off 4th Street in the middle of West Austin and San Antonio Avenue. So hope is to get this back on the roll. It's more money than originally it was supposed to go up for sale for, so there'll be funds that do us cheap to the entities. So felt like this is a great win, an opportunity to put this back on the roll.
How much did you say the taxes were due on it?
So the minimum bid at the time was the $9,670 with 10 cents. That was the minimum bid.
And but my question to you is the taxes owed on it.
Was it 33,612?
Yeah, so there are the 33,612. That's the current
That's the
value on the roll, but there have been things that have been adjusted. So if you actually look at the pending one for 2026, it's actually it's dropped. It looks like one of the improvement structures is off, so it's 12,194. So this is almost completely at what CAD considers the full value of the property to be. Yes, that is
So we're
correct.
just like $655.
I know, but my question, Mr. Arcifer, is what's the taxes owed on it, not the value of
The taxes owed would be on the statement that would have been in the,
Which
as
is
part
it?
of the original package.
Which is the 27,000?
Yes.
That's
that-
what's owed, okay, that's what I care about.
Yeah.
I don't care
Okay,
the
We
value
can-
of the house, I care about how much money Dimmit County's gonna lose.
got it. Yeah, so for,
27,000.
so that would be for all of the entities. And so for that purpose, yes, those would be the taxes that were in there. We can, in theory, you could attempt to, sell it at that higher amount if you wanted to, if the market was
I
there.
just wanted to know what was owed.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Arce.
thank you, Judge.
Other questions in regards to this one?
Motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Odena to accept the bid,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.16, discussion and appropriate action to approve the resale of property account number 11667.
So the recommendation here is also to approve the $700 bid. This is at minimum bid, so if approved, a judge is authorized to sign a resale deed for the property. Has no improvements.
This property is located in Bigos.
Yes, Judge.
Do I have a motion?
Structure?
Yeah, there's no structure on it. I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.17, discussion and appropriate action to approve the resale property account number 11625.
Similarly, court, this would be to approve the, a bid for $1,010. That's $10 over the minimum bid at time of sale. There is a dilapidated structure that is, seems to be either on or straddling the property account, as you can see there on the corner of the, satellite image. But it is not assessed on the account. And so the years in the judgment stretch from 97 through 2023. 2024 through 2025 taxes will be paid in full, because those were not included as part of the sale. So they will have to pay the additional $28.47 to close out the 24 plus the 25 taxes for all entities.
On this, is it the same bidder for both properties and vehicles?
No, there's different bidders. It's different bidders. It says it at the bottom.
What does it say, Judge?
Right here. Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Court.
3.18, discussion and appropriate action approval for tax assessor collector Mary Sandoval and G.W. Lizette Perez to attend the 26th Truth in Taxation presentation. Good morning, Ms. Sandoval.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
I have the next item also.
3.19, discussion and appropriate action, approval for tax assessor collector Mary Sandoval to attend the 26th legislative conference in Austin, Texas.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Carmona, second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you. 3.20, discussion and appropriate action, approval of used turf to be utilized at county golf course and other precincts that may need some. Commissioner Odena,
Judge,
this
I'm
is
thinking
just a
this-
piggyback from the last time?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.21, discussion and appropriate action to authorize Commissioner Precinct 1 pursuant to Section 713.0288 of the Texas Health and Safety Code to use public funds, county employees, county equipment to assist with maintenance of the Mount Hope Cemetery, being a historic cemetery that is at least 50 years old.
Was Mr. Gonzalez not gonna come back in for this?
Mr. Gonzalez is back then.
Okay, so just making sure.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. May I approach with some items?
Yes. Thank you.
There'll be 3 items.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I handed you 3 items. The first is statute from the Health and Safety Code. The second is the declaration of dedication for cemetery purposes for the Mount Hope Cemetery. And the third is the deed, which is referenced within that dedication, that second item I gave you. Like I said, my name is Natalie Lewis. I'm covering for Keith Franklin this morning, and we reviewed this issue. What we did find is that the county does in fact have authority under the section on the second page of that packet I gave you, section 713.028, county care of cemetery older than 50 years for purposes of historical preservation or public health, safety, or welfare. A commissioner's court may use public funds, county employees, county inmate labor as provided by Article 43.10 Code of Criminal Procedure, and county equipment to maintain a cemetery that is at least 50 years old. There is 2 exceptions. Two subsections. This section does not apply to a perpetual care cemetery or a cemetery maintained by a religious or fraternal organization. And then C, at the discretion of the Commissioner's Court, a county may permit the use of public funds, county employees, county inmate labor, as provided by Article 43.10 Code of Criminal Procedure, and county equipment to open and close graves in a cemetery described by subsection A. For purposes of this presentation, we're discussing maintenance. But essentially, that section to maintain a cemetery that is at least 50 years old. Mountain Hope has a historical designation, that second item I gave you, from the Texas Historical Commission, and it references the deed, which is the third item I gave you, showing when the land was dedicated as a public cemetery, which was in 1885. Obviously clearly exceeding that 50-year time. So this does in fact clear any concerns that Mount Hope is a private cemetery because it is designated for public use here. The only prohibitions on assisting with maintenance of the historic cemetery are 1, like I said, if it's a perpetual care cemetery or if it's maintained by a religious or fraternal organization. So a perpetual care cemetery is one where there is a trust fund or an endowment that's set up to pay for all of its maintenance. In other words, if this were to be happening, all of the maintenance would be covered and there would be active maintenance happening on the cemetery. And then that second subsection is that it cannot be funded for a cemetery maintained by a religious or fraternal organization. This would be like the Catholic Church. or a fraternal organization would be for members of, let's say, the Masonic Lodge, where there's only those members can have their bodies dug in that cemetery. So we did confirm with Bert Bell that none of these apply. There is no trust or endowment, and anyone can buy a plot. So not only members of a Masonic Lodge or other fraternal organization, as per purposes of the statute, can be buried there. Anybody can buy a plot of land and be buried there. So the statute, this is a statutory authority, regardless of kind of any other argument that there might be. It does allow for the county to maintain the cemetery for one of those two reasons, right? A, historical preservation, or public health, safety, or welfare. So we know that there have been public safety concerns at the cemetery with snakes and, you know, mesquite tree limbs falling, and in other words, the cemetery is not currently being maintained. So this alone is sufficient to allow for county maintenance. However, in addition, because there is historical designation on the cemetery, the county can maintain the cemetery for historical preservation purposes as well. It's for those two. So the confirmation here that we need to make would be, is there no perpetual care trust or endowment where funds are going, you know, put into to go to maintain the cemetery. And from confirmation with Bert Bell, we don't see any. There's been none provided, and we haven't done, through the research that we've done, we haven't found a trust that does that.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the cemetery, they pay somebody for landscaping. And
Yes, who's they?
I said the cemetery, Mount Hope.
Okay.
So since there's, and I'm gonna, since there's money exchanged there, doesn't that put the county in a liability also? Because if they're hiring somebody to, and I'm not against it or
Sure.
but I do have a concern being that they pay somebody to maintain that cemetery. How do we fall into this category?
So any other contracts, I guess, for
This
maintaining that?
is historical and they're paying somebody, it's like.
So I guess, piggyback off of that question, if they're paying somebody to maintain Mount Hope, then what's the issue or concern as, I mean, and I guess that's a different question to ask somebody else, but if they're paying somebody to maintain it, then there shouldn't be any issues with health and safety if somebody's supposed to be maintaining it.
So my understanding is that it's not currently being maintained. There's issues with it that are
Well, I
being brought
understand,
up as a
you
public
see
safety.
it,
Yeah.
it's obvious,
Yeah.
right? But I guess the question is if Commissioner Carmona is correct, that Mount Hope is in fact paying somebody to maintain it, obviously, this big move, right? We wouldn't be here. So I guess we will need to ask Bert Bell, because if.
And the statute, just to kind of bring this out there, this is saying that the county can do so. So the county is authorized by the statute to use county funds and labor to maintain the cemetery. Whether the county decides to do that or not, and subject to other contracts with other contractors, landscapers to deal with that, what you can do is, what you have authority to do is pay for maintenance on the cemetery.
Judge, may I?
Go ahead.
Judge, I'd like to clarify a couple of things. I did request to place this on the agenda, and the main priority reason, and what I can say is, the cemeteries, there are 4 cemeteries, if I'm correct, out there, and they're all under different circumstances, somewhat different. Just for example, you have Guadalupe number 1. It's probably the oldest cemetery that was originally established in this area. My concern at this point.
But this agenda item's for Mount Hope.
I understand. I don't know why it reads like that, because
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I.
Cause you know that those ones are pretty bad, right?
I went, yes. They're all being affected. Right now, due to the rain, which we're grateful for, we have the abundant growth of grass and all kinds of weeds and everything else throughout the cemeteries. It's probably more than even a maintenance group can handle. I'm not my request, to be clear, is not to take over the maintenance of the cemetery by all means. What we would like, is propose that we be able to assist in conditions like we have now, where we have overgrowth of grass, especially in Guadalupe number 1, which can result in a safety concern. Once it gets hot, once that grass gets dry, somebody drives by there, throws out a cigarette butt, and it lights up, we have a major safety concern.
Commissioner, yes, that reason alone is enough.
We have, and there's pictures, unfortunately I didn't bring them with me, but there's graves out there that are caving in, and there's wildlife, possums, there's all kinds of creatures that are living in these holes, and there's neighborhoods within, throughout the entire perimeter of that cemetery.
And I think what my concern was, that, I mean, other than, can we do this for all the other cemeteries?
Correct.
Because
I
if we're
think
gonna
it
do
is.
something for one, we should include all the other cemeteries. Because I know for sure, the mejores materiales that take care of the other cemeteries, they're, and I'm gonna say this, they're poorer than Mount Hope.
Okay.
Mount Hope has the highest, say, graves than what the other little cemeteries have. And they have a hard time, what I'm trying to say, if we're gonna do one for one, why don't we do it for all?
So long as the other cemeteries fall within this
Well,
statutory.
that's what I'm asking.
So I
Can we
guess
find out
our-
and table that and-
Natalie, so what I'm gonna recommend to the court, and what I'm gonna advise you to do respectfully on the request of this court, is to go back to the drawing board and look at all the, health and safety codes and all the other government codes regarding the historical commission for all the, cemeteries, because this particular agenda item is specifically only for Mount Hope. And I think at the end of the day, Commissioner Urenda's position is, correct me if I'm wrong, was, I think his intention was to encompass all the cemeteries in the area. And so if you could follow up on that and get us some documentations in regards to the legality of being able to provide that for, I mean, because based on the health and safety code that you provided, I think that may be a way to kind of be able to provide the services. I think there's sufficient information there to allow us to apply the facts of our case to what the health and safety code says. But for this particular matter, because it's only Mount Hope, for purposes of the Texas Open Meetings Act, we cannot vote today to do it for all the other cemeteries. And so if the other cemeteries don't apply, let's say, for instance, that one of them is not private or whatnot, I think that's what Commissioner Carmona's other concern was, is that kind of picking and choosing on which cemeteries we're gonna do it and not. I think it's preferable for us to be all-inclusive, correct? Is that?
Yes, correct.
And my understanding, is so long as that cemetery is 50 years old, which we find the records just as we did with Mount Hope, we can.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. I know that Mr. Gonzalez is shaking his head. I guess he's in disagreement, but if you could find the evidence, or the applicable law to that, because I know, Mr. Gonzalez has a concern. I know, and if we can get that, so that we can make a educated decision without anyone getting in any kind of trouble.
Sure.
Judge,
Yes.
so from my understanding from what she's saying is that as long as there is no use being taken in for the maintenance of the cemetery, then it is possible for the county to come in and help maintenance it.
That's correct. But now that we have potential information from Commissioner Carmona that he's saying that they are paying for maintenance, there still needs to be some more information so that we could better, make a decision in regards to, whether or not this is applicable or not. I think at the end of the day, I mean, from a legal perspective, I think that we could, go to the part where, for a public purpose, but I still wanted, correct me, right? Right. We could still kind of bite at the bait for the public purpose, but because today this specific agenda item was only for Mount Hope, and I think
like I said, I think the intention of Commissioner Odena, and I think the intention of this entire court is that we be all inclusive to all of them. We don't want to say, oh, we're only gonna do Mount Hope and not Mujeres Materiales, or the other one, or even Asherton, or Big Wolf, vice versa. So, I'll entertain a motion to table, and if you could respectfully get us that information, that would be great, and just work with Mr. Gonzalez if you can.
In addition,
Yes,
Your
Judge.
Honor, that you look at the exceptions to make sure they don't apply, because I do feel that both exceptions apply in the situation. And, you know, you have it in the packet where they're posting on the internet that it's a perpetual care if you pay your lifetime dues. I have a certificate for my lots. Lifetime dues certificate, you know, so that's perpetual care. If not, you're paying your monthly fee, then if not, you're getting sued in county court, and JP court, and there's already been 2 cases filed, and basically they're telling people on the internet, if you don't pay, then we're coming after you. And it even says on the, and you have a copy in there, if you pass away, and we're coming after your children and
Yeah,
grandchildren.
perpetual care, yes, correct.
For maintenance.
Correct, so given that we received confirmation from Rebel that there was none, and then there's, you know, Mr. Gonzalez here saying that there might be, there's obviously a, difference there, and we just obviously wanna make sure that the county doesn't, do anything unlawfully, incorrectly, so we can double check to make sure that there are no, perpetual, trusts or endowments, for any or all of the cemeteries. That would be the biggest, roadblock here.
I just wanted to know also, as well as like, we do need to take into consideration that this was a service that the county was providing before in the past, and definitely all the inconveniences we have caused by not touching this topic. So I very much do hope that we get to the bottom of it, because to me, it seems like there's a logical way to go about it if both the organization and the county are willing to work together and set it up on how it should be cared for and taken care of. Then I see no issue with it, but I just hope that we do bring this back and it is a discussion that we have, just because, again, this is something that we normally did, and pulling these resources away has caused conflicts and issues.
And it also offers the ability, Natalie, for the sheriff's office, to be able to use the inmates, the trustees,
That would be
to maintain it without having to dip into any of the commissioners' departments and utilizing their staff, so.
Absolutely.
But if you can get us that information, I'll entertain a motion to table.
You know, they've done that in the past, sheriff department, I had no problems with that. You know, when they've been able to assist under the code of criminal procedure, no problems at all. You know, but it's like Commissioner Renda and I were discussing earlier, there are times of the year where it's maybe appropriate to provide them assistance, like All Souls Day, All Saints Day, when they're having masses out there, and you want to have all the cemeteries clean, there's a public purpose, but put that on the agenda item. We also, although item we need to have them look at is the possibility of indemnity agreements with these cemeteries if we're going to assist them, because if we cause any damage to anybody's grave while we're out there, then we're gonna be liable for it. And I don't want that liability. I wanna be indemnified by the organizations.
That's a good point.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.22, discussion and appropriate action, approval to accept donations of 800 yards of material from TechDOT located on FM 1556 for precinct 1.
Judge, this is approximately 800 cubic yards of, pre-coated rock that, we're trying to accept as a donation from TechDOT, and we have plans to utilize this to seal coat, Science Road and, Breakdown Road, if this get approved.
Can I ask who told you about this? Cause this is in my precinct and I've been asking Mr. J.D. Moreno for rat material. And he's been saying that there's none available, so I just wanna make sure.
So Manuel got a call from their supervisor, it wasn't JD, it was their supervisor, and probably because this is not rat material, Commissioner, this is, pre-coated rock that was left over. You know how they're
Yeah.
seal coating?
Like, yeah, like the rock we have.
Yes, and,
Right.
it was left over and they, I just know it's on 1556, and they called Manuel and I told him I would put it to Commissioner's Court.
It's probably in the water.
Other questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.23, discussion and appropriate action, approval to allocate a special rate for the Catholic Church to host their annual golf tournament at the golf course in October.
Judge, I was approached and asked if I could place this on the agenda on behalf of the Knights of Columbus. They're planning to, they used to have a yearly golf tournament out there at the golf course, and they're trying to bring it back to the community where they can have get back to their yearly golf course tournament. And
And what's the rate that you charge right now for anybody else that wants to have a tournament there?
it's $2,200 and something right here on the report.
2,200
But it was 2,200 for somebody who wants to have a tournament.
for anybody that includes nonprofits, that includes businesses. 2,200.
Oh, it's just for companies, it doesn't include nonprofit
I
organizations.
think nonprofit was less.
Yes. We, every time that we've rented it out for something like this, it's been oil field companies and they pay it upfront, no questions asked for. We never had a nonprofit
Well,
actually.
the South Texas Heroes, they're a nonprofit. How much do they
They
pay?
paid the board.
They pay the
Yeah,
full
but
rate?
it was sponsored by oil field company.
Do we have
And
it
how
listed
much
in the
is
contract?
How much is the rate that you're asking for the church to pay?
I don't have an established rate, Judge, it'd be, up to the Commissioner's Court, whatever they decide.
So you don't currently have a nonprofit rate for the golf course for this type of event?
I thought we had one set up for the nonprofit.
Not
For the
golf
arenas, we
course,
do.
for the arena,
Arenas.
but not the golf course.
And Alanis,
We don't have any.
But not the golf course.
so this is something we're gonna have to look into and set up for a nonprofit for the golf course then, since the other ones have.
Cause my only concern is I don't mind giving them a discounted rate for it, but since the golf course is like a daily, like do you close down the golf course when they have the
Yes.
tournaments or, okay.
They close. But Commissioner
Yeah,
Gal closed the golf course?
It's pretty much closed down for just the tournament. So, and most of the time, the individuals that are playing in the tournament are the individuals that are out there on that specific.
And do we still host like the sales from the stand?
Yes, absolutely. That's where the golf course benefits from.
So then it would just be like for the playing fees that we would be waiving for
Correct,
them?
and the golf course.
So since it's in October, I know Commissioner Rugaba was mentioning about getting some numbers. Do you want to table it to get like a ballpark figure of what would be adjustable?
We have time, you know, it wouldn't be an issue.
Do I have a motion to table? Motion by Commissioner Rugaba, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.24, discussion and appropriate action, road and bridge update on county-wide audit inventory.
We're done with the road and bridge, and it should be in your cubby holes today.
Okay, I'll go check them today for
Yes.
sure when we're done.
For all pieces.
No action.
Well, yes, I just wanted the update on the countywide audit since we haven't, it's already been a year and 9 months, or how long have I been in office?
A year and 5 months, 6 months.
A year and 6 months since I got in my audit since I came into office. So I just wanted to double check on it again to make sure that we did get it done. He's saying that it's in my cubby hole or my box.
Just make, you just verify, please.
No action. 3.25, discussion and appropriate action, approval of additional new internet service for the Big Wells Rec Center.
Morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Castañeda, it says additional new internet service. Is there currently internet in there?
No.
There's no internet.
At the rec center.
Okay. So it's not for additional, it's just to, start up the,
Start,
oh, okay,
Yeah.
New service.
for new service.
No, that's.
The Rec Center National How much do we pay a month, you know?
Well, that's a conversation that we had the last time. I think that you said that you had, structure. It wasn't a lot. It was, that's why we had halted on it, cause it wasn't even in comparison to what we were getting in Bigos. And in Bigos, because there wasn't a lot of, internet providers out there, were very limited. I wanna say, if I'm not.
What is the amount that you, for Asherton, Commissioner Noguera?
I'm sorry, or you-
What is the amount for Asherton?
I don't know, that's what I was asking.
Judge, one, full transparency, this internet connection would be for the, to allow for like when we host events or things of that nature for the children, for that way they can have access to internet connection. We are looking at cameras, and we do also have a panic button that hasn't been installed yet at the Bigos Rec Center, and so that would feed off of a different internet source. So this one right now would just be internet, so that way the kids could be able to access internet. The second internet source, because I see Commissioner Uranda, so basically with the camera systems and with the panic button, they don't recommend for us to overload the system because then the cameras become glitchy. And so they're saying that a point-to-point might be more beneficial on that sense to make sure that the streaming is always uninterrupted. So
Who's
they
telling you that?
the providers, so that if we still wanted to offer internet for the children in the community, or like whenever they go host events out there. I know that the sheriff has gone,
I can understand what you're saying in regards to having a clear and concise internet for purposes of security. But these prices right here, because right now we're talking about 3.25 is specifically just for internet. I feel like these prices are extremely high. We have like 1,800, 999, 3,700, I guess with the hardware. So I'm just, I
Yes.
mean, if
Well, this is
it's
the issue that we had
basic,
at the time.
if it's basic internet, I just don't.
So, we,
And I think of course they're gonna, any good salesman's gonna tell you you need
Yeah.
3 different internets, right?
Do
So
we
then,
have that here, huh?
No,
Which one?
Judge, I'm sorry, but give me a second. It was me because even the camera systems here at the courthouse, they are not clear, they're glitchy, they're not up to par. They need a higher upgraded internet connection. So this isn't something that I'm taking just reference from a salesperson that tells me that I need to have different providers to be able to do that. I'm saying that if I'm gonna put cameras at the rec center and a panic button, which hasn't been installed yet, mind you, I've also had an employee suffer a stroke
but you should
in
have a
that
panic
area.
button, never put it.
No,
Because
I
we
don't have any internet connection.
can pay service for it.
So this is the issue that we had the first time, was that the quotes were too high for the rec center. I think when we talked about it the first time, I think Commissioner, you're paying like a fraction of the price. I wanna say you're paying maybe like a third or a fourth of the price. But this isn't something that I'm saying, I would rather keep the system separate from the panic button and from the camera system, just because of what it's gonna be providing to the community, and keep the internet connection separately from it. So again, we had this issue to begin with the first time around, this is just the second time that we're bringing it on. And before I was interrupted, we do have like the sheriff that's put on, I wanna say 3 or 4 events out there for a movie, a Christmas movie. And it's always something that we do struggle with out there because we don't have internet connection, so they have to bring that with them. And so I do know that the prices are high. I have waited on it for a while. This is about the second time that I put it on the agenda. But I just think that the kids out there definitely deserve a connection to the internet, and people that wanna do events out there have access to the internet to be able to provide programs for the kids in the community. So I know it's a pretty high ticket amount, but I think that the children in the big ones are definitely worth it.
Judge, if
I don't think anyone's saying that the children of Big Wells are not worth
I'm just
getting
making a
internet.
statement. I'm just
No,
making a
you can make your statement, you're entitled to make whatever statement you want, but I'm telling you is that for you to make a blanket statement that it's the kids in Big Wells may or may not be important. Every child in this community is important. As a chief budgeting officer, I have to make sure that we're not spending more than we should, and I'm just asking from you or from Mr.
This is the second
Castaneda,
time. Yes.
and that's fine, and I will continue to ask because we can't just be frivolously spending money, and so I'm asking that this seems very high in comparison to other locations.
because it's not in geographic locations.
And I understand that, and I agree with you, and I can understand that different places may require different amounts, but what I'm saying is that, we have to make sure that we get a system that is going to be cost effective and not just because, we have the funds to pay for a $5,000 thing that we should. It has to be cost effective, and it also has to provide a service that we need. And so I was just asking Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Castañeda
And as
about the
commissioner, I think
amounts.
I done that. Because this is the second time we have brought it up. The first time we didn't go through with it, and we had this discussion before, and I don't mind rushing up on the decisions or the conversations that we had during this discussion, but I just don't wanna approach this as a manner of which something that should be tabled, because again, I still don't have a panic button out there that goes, and we still don't have internet connection. So for you to sit here and say, as a financial officer, I do understand your position in that statement, but again, this is something that we have been sitting on, because again, a year and 5 months, and this is one of the first projects that I definitely did try to bring up and coming. This is the second time that we got quotes. I do understand that they are high, but at the end of the day, these are the best options that we're finding. For transparency reasons, I am letting you know that I am still gonna try and do a point to point for my camera systems and for the panic button, and so I'm just being transparent in that situation. But these are the quotes that we are getting, and if you wanna ask questions as each provider to kind of help come up to a conclusion, then okay, but again, this is the second time that it's been brought to Commissioner's Court, and it's been months apart, and so it's something that not only myself, but also the IT department, the director, has making sure that we've done a thorough evaluation to see what providers would be beneficial for us at the price range that we could afford.
Imagine,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Javi, does the rec center in African have a panic button?
No.
Okay, and I'm just trying to understand, because I don't know what all goes on at these rec centers, as you and Commissioner do, and Commissioner Workout, but, so I understand you need the internet for like, when they're gonna view movies or things of that nature, and host events, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I also understand being a rural area, because I live in a rural area, and I deal with areas that need
Judge, you got a
internet.
question for me?
But,
No.
what I'm saying is, would, Sky
I have a question for Commissioner Carmona.
would that not be, suitable for
Yes.
fit commissioners' needs and the panic button and the cameras? Because my understanding is the cameras are working
What's the
24/7, right?
Mhm.
So you would only take from them whenever let's just say there's an event, the sheriff or the commissioner, or somebody's hosting out there.
Mm.
They would put a movie
Yes.
and they would need it at that time. Would that be a way of kind of going by to be a little more efficient, where we can kind of, meet all the needs?
Yes, we would get additional equipment, and we would kind of like separate the internet a little bit, so that way one would be like public access for presenters or the kids, and then the other one would be solely for the cameras and the panic buttons.
Okay, because that's another thing, when you say public access, that means you give out the password, and anybody who has a password can get on the internet, right? It's not open to where, if you go by, it
Yeah.
will connect automatically,
No.
because that itself will slow down your
Correct.
Yes.
system, okay?
But
So,
also, it is something that I did want for the children to have access to, just for like homework purposes and stuff like that, to have like a neutralized area where they could connect to the Wi-Fi.
how far is the rec center from Commissioner's office, approximately?
Not too sure, about maybe a mile?
That rec center can't connect to I think we did get it, I did, cause I explored that option, I know you're getting at, to shoot from my office to there. What I gotten from that is we did get a quote from somebody, and they said the line of path wasn't clear.
I understand,
Because there's also a tower on top of the old school that we also have looked into, to see if that was something that we can kind of use to then shoot to the rec center, because the old school is in front of the rec center. And so we also explored that opportunity, but with that tower being up there, we can't really get a hold of anybody, and the city doesn't know much on it, and the city owns the school. But I also explored that option as well.
Commissioner, question. Commissioner, and I don't take nothing away from kids or anything like that, but you mentioned about, the kids getting homework done there in Greenville. Would you work something out with the school district, since the school district is the one that provides the homework, and, I have no issue with the internet, but if the students are also there, then I would ask if I was in charge of that, I would ask the school if they would help out on the internet also because, we're not teachers. And when they're sent out there with educators with homework, then that would fall more with the school. And I understand that the internet we try to provide for everybody, which I don't have a problem for them to do their homework like that, but if it's a cost, let's do it, cost share.
I would see that I could probably get in communication. I hadn't thought of that, and I hadn't even thinking of the possibility of that being there. But a lot of the programs, especially with the South Texas Food Bank, if you're offering
Well,
educational,
we're jumping from
hold
the
on,
students to
hold on,
the food
because I'm
bank.
trying to explain something to you. Like even from the South Texas Food Bank, if we're able to provide educational based hours, we're able to also provide food for them. So the reason that I was coming up with the children having access to the internet was in reference to it being a rec center, which is a recreational center for the children to enjoy. And so I was kind of thinking it under that aspect. I'm not sure if that's something that the school board would consider, but again, I think from all the quotes that I've had, the Starlink would be the one, because I know that even at that, if we did the lower priority or the 1 terabyte at 280, all that happens after that is the gigabyte slows down. And so it kind of controls it a little bit, where if they use past that allowed amount, then afterwards that internet connection just slowly until the next renewal, and then it adds in the terabytes for the next month for
Mr.
renewal.
Castañeda, a like hotspot wouldn't suffice for the, I mean,
That's more of a emergency use case, like.
no, like, I mean, just a hotspot or like to establish there at the recreational center, cause what's the, I guess, my question to you is, what's the, are a lot of people using the rec center in Big Wells to like where it requires that we need to have like the highest level of internet? I'm not talking about the camera system, I'm talking about just recreational internet.
I'm asking to compromise and meet in the middle at $280.
Commissioner, I'm asking Mr. Castañeda questions. You can answer whatever you wanna answer, but I'm asking him a question because you're asking for two different internets. And so my question to you is, obviously, I don't know, Commissioner Gama, did you get the amount of how much you pay for internet?
I called the auditors and Ms. Galvan said it's $50, AT&T Starlink.
See, that's why I'm asking, like $50 to $999.
But I have a quote for
No,
$50 here
usually-
too, Judge. I
This is-
provided you one for
Where's that
$50
$50?
right here at
Regular business
Starlink.
account.
It's $50, it's 280, there's 530. I know that you keep looking at the other ones, but we gave.
No, I'm looking at all of them, but I went to the back of the
I know,
Starlink.
But
and the back of the
there's one
Starlink.
here for $55 as well.
I understand, but the total due today for Starlink says $2,358.
For the startup cost for all the equipment, Judge.
So,
But I got a monthly charge for what she's paying at her rec center that they have is about $55. So again, a startup cost of $2,358.66 as a one-time purchase, and then $55 a month, and then if the internet runs out, it runs out. Then that be the case, but again, the rec center in Asherton has one, and I know
no,
we're
that's
working on
not a
all the
problem,
quotes,
that's not a problem, I'm
but-
just trying to figure out the amounts, and I'm glad you clarified that it's $55 a month. I don't have an issue with that, but it's cause I was looking at these total amounts that you gave us, and the total amounts is what I was looking at. I wasn't
Judge.
looking at the monthly, cause I didn't see a monthly, on the AT&T, it doesn't have a monthly, correct?
That one is a monthly, it's like $47.99.
Where's that on here, Mr. Castañeda? Do you have
This
that?
is just for the device itself.
Okay,
If I may, this is mostly just gonna be for the cameras and the panic buttons for now. If you wanted to consider getting like
Mayor,
a,
I'm
See, that's why I'm
going-
confused.
Hold on.
No, you need to calm
No,
down.
no,
Commissioner.
it is
You need
you,
to
it's
calm down
you,
because
it's
even
you.
Commissioner
Because
Urenda,
you
look at
have
your face, right, we're
mastered- Hold on,
confused.
give me a minute, Judge.
No,
As
I'm
the
not gonna
judge,
give you a
please give
minute.
me a minute.
I'm giving order of this
Okay.
court, and we're confused, cause even Commissioner Urenda got confused, Commissioner Carmona got confused, we're
But you are so
confused.
quick to validate the confusion. It's
I
the
am
thing.
quick to
You're
validate
so
because
quick
he's
to
talking
validate
about,
the confusion.
he is talking, we're talking about recreational internet. If he says $55 a month, great, but Mr. Castañeda just said right now about, the internet for the cameras and all, I'm confused. These three over here are confused. I don't know if Commissioner Lucas is confused or not. I'm trying to stay in order. If you're saying it's $55 a month for internet services, great. Now we just have to decide which of the three, because of course there's gonna be startup costs. There's always gonna be startup costs. Which of the three are we going? On this paper that Mr. Castañeda gave me, it does not say anywhere $47 for internet. It says $999.
And that is a monthly cost, you're confusing it again, you're saying that every quote is $55 per month.
No, I'm not
That is
saying
not
that.
the
You're
thing. You
getting
just
it
said right
confused.
now.
No,
You
I'm not.
just said-
No, I'm not.
You
You
just
are
said it right now,
misinterpreting
you
my
said the
words.
3 quotes right now, now we know it's 55, now we know how to see how much it is. This is the
Correct.
startup cost, that's not what we
This
just told you.
is $999.
Judge, let's
Mr.
go.
Castañeda
Let's
just
go.
said
Let's
right
go.
now
We don't need to
47.
We can have a
No.
discussion later on, let's just vote.
We're not gonna vote. That's the purpose of this meeting, is to have a discussion. This paper Mr. Castañeda gave us says $999.
A monthly, that's a monthly rate from AT&T.
He just said 47, Commissioner?
For Starlink.
No, he's saying 47 for AT&T. Is that correct?
Yes, that's the
See?
annual price.
He's saying 47. You're confusing
Where's the
yourself.
$47 a month
Exactly.
for the internet for AT&T? Because that's not what you said.
Exactly.
Can you wait?
Well, no, because you're getting upset for no reason
Judge,
at all.
would you like to
You-
call for recess?
No,
I'd
I'm
like to
not
motion
gonna call
for
it
recess.
recess. You can motion
Because
all
I'm
you
not
want.
gonna
I'm not gonna
entertain, I'm
entertain
not
your
gonna
motion.
entertain.
Go ahead, Mr.
Why aren't you gonna
Castañeda.
entertain my
I'm
motion?
not gonna
Why?
entertain your motion, because I'm not. He's
As
here
a
and he's
commissioner, I
telling
have
us.
the right to set a
Okay.
motion, Judge.
That's fine. I'm not gonna recess it. Go ahead, Mr.
I have the right to
Castañeda.
set a motion.
Okay, your motion is to recess. Is there somebody to second the recess? Motion dies. Go ahead, Mr. Castañeda.
If we were just
The
going.
AT&T, we'll start one at a time. The AT&T, it's $999, correct, for
Yes.
one-time fee?
Yes,
Okay, and it's, you said $47 a month?
yes,
Thank you,
47.
thank you. And then the Starlink, just to be correct, it's $2,358.66, correct?
Yes,
For one-time fee.
yes.
And then it's $55 a month?
No, it's gonna be 155.
Oh, $155 a month. Okay,
Javi, why does it say 55 for the 50 gigabytes then?
Because it's list the different priorities.
So then what priority are we going with?
We are going with the.
Cause
Cause I don't see 150 here.
excuse me, Commissioner?
I'm sorry, so yes, it would be for the 50. Or it's supposed to be for 500, but
No, he's saying he doesn't see the 155. I don't see the 155.
I see 55, 280, and 530.
But I'm asking.
Three different monthly rates,
Okay.
55, 280, and 530
Unnecessary.
on Star.
No, I agree with you.
I apologize, that one didn't print out. But it was for 500 gigabytes for like 155.
Say that again, Javi, I'm sorry.
500 gigabytes for 155 a month,
155?
yeah,
Okay,
which is included in the startup cost.
okay. And then this Barcom, it says a total amount of, well, there's 3 different ones. There's one for 1,000, one for 2,650, and then one for 3,713.
The total amount is for 3,713.
So 3,713,
Yes.
and then what's the monthly fee on that?
That's a point to point. It works off of the JP's office. You put a little radio tower on top and then you just work through that.
So it would just use the JP, so there wouldn't be no monthly fee?
No.
So Barcom would just be the 3,700?
Yes.
For all
The
the
one-time fee?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, taking into consideration, we're gonna use it for the camera systems and everything. If it does lag, then we're gonna look at a different internet option to be able to offer for the public.
So let me ask you again, Commissioner, is this for the rec and the cameras, or just for the rec?
So this one right here, if we went with Barcom, it's gonna be for everything. If it does not work on us, then we are gonna consider a Starlink option to add as an additional to it.
No, it's too much.
Commissioner, if I may,
Keep in mind, the camera systems here at the courthouse are still not working because
Okay.
of the internet connection.
I understand, but let me say something real quick. I don't know of any other place that has 2 internets, one just for cameras and one for internet service. Do you? Okay. There's gotta be a provider out there that can handle the load. And if Starlink is telling you that they can give you 500 at 155 versus 50, that Starlink should be able to handle it. If not, I don't know why anybody's in business if they can't handle. I don't understand.
It's a terrified
Unless you have extremely sophisticated cameras, that's the only way that they can be enough on your gigabytes.
Commissioner.
Go ahead.
I have cameras and I don't have an issue,
You have a point to point.
but I'm point to point.
Same thing as
Same
what
thing with
we're
the
talking
same
about
thing.
here. But granted, this is Bigwell. This is a different, I can understand, it's a different rural area that the signal is not as strong. But even at that, there's gotta be a service company that can provide enough internet service for your building to handle your cameras, especially when you're not in a situation like the sheriff, that they're on the internet 24/7. This is gonna be used to play movies or whatever
That's
else
why I
it
was
may be
asking, how busy
occasionally.
is it? Yeah,
Hold on,
that's why I was
but keep
asking
in
how
mind that
busy.
the point to point, you're still taking it from the judge's office from the courthouse, and so that was my concern, that if we were gonna be allowing, honestly, if we get the point to point, it's something that I probably wouldn't open up to the kids in the community, because then I would be worried about draining it from the JP's office, because the constable and the judge is still out of there.
When it
And
defeats the purpose.
so that's why I was saying, like, I would do it both for the camera systems and for the panic button. And then after the fact, like, if we saw that it did, then I would want a second service, so that way I could keep it separate, because we had the JP's office and the constable's office to take into consideration. But again, this is just for the first time internet connection. I'm just trying to be transparent with you and letting you know, because I don't wanna come in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, and then tell you, hey, it's not gonna work for me to be able to pass it out to the community and to be able to not keep the cameras from lagging and keep the JP's office up and going, and then I wanted that option then. But it's just for transparency reasons. We are still gonna try it like this first, and then from there on, afterwards.
Mr. Castaneda, the point to point that Commissioner Carmona uses right now, it's point to point from where?
From me.
So we're always on the internet. Is that lag your stuff?
No.
So,
It does affect it though.
Cause they're having issues right now with the cameras, that's the
Whenever
main
you
thing.
guys lose access to your emails or you go down, they will go down as well.
so the reason why I was asking, going back to what Commissioner Odena was saying, is how busy is the rec center? Because we're not just gonna just frivolously give everybody the internet, right? The internet password, because then everybody can use it, and that would also slow
Lag it.
down. Money?
That would lag it.
Yeah, that would lag it, because if you have, if you make the internet easily accessible, anybody in the general vicinity could be able to use it, and that's where it would
Do
lag.
kids get to use their internet there at the rec center? We don't offer it to any of the children?
No, it's just for mainly set up for the way I understood it, right, Commissioner Ogawa, is for events, like if they needed to, it's like a one-time passcode that you get, but it's not like that the public gets to use it,
Like the rodeo arena.
yeah, like the rodeo arena. It's not like, because then anybody in the general vicinity, you publicly issue out that password, then that, I can understand.
So then
where
maybe
that
that's an agenda item and a discussion for a different time then, because when I think of recreational centers, that's what I just feel that should be included as an option to the children in the community. I was almost under the impression that the one in Asherton was open to the community, and that's why that it lagged, because I did know that they had connection issues in that, rec center. But then if that's the case, and that's where y'all guys are coming from that standpoint, well then maybe that should be an agenda item for a later time to discuss internet options open to the public or to the school age children providing a school ID.
I would actually recommend that, one of the main reasons why I included, other internet options other than the point-to-point, was so that it would be separated, it would be isolated from each other. There's no way to hop onto, the JP's office.
So that Barcom is the one that's point to point, right?
Yes.
So AT&T and Starlink would be the ones that are standalones, correct?
Yes.
And this internet would be used for both recreational and the camera systems.
Yes, if we
Not
had to.
recreational, but like event ones, because if you say recreational, it's not open to the public and everybody in the community.
Well, I mean, if
It's
you
open up
wanna
just for
use,
like events.
if you wanna use it to give it to the public, that's fine, but with the keeping the mindset that it might lag,
Mhm.
right? If so many people are using it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of an issue for the camera since they can store it locally and then upload it later.
Gotcha.
I have a question. Is there a contract for the price on this, where it won't increase mid-year or anything like that?
No, they are subject to increases or decreases.
I couldn't hear you.
They're subject to change.
Starlink and AT&T, yes, it's subject to change, just like every other internet connection.
Well, let's just say, I'm sorry, Joe.
No, I'm saying it's not a yearly contract.
Say we pay 155 with Starlink a month. So you mean to tell me like 6 months from now, it'll increase, just an example, theoretically speaking, it'll increase to 200
Yes.
without notification that there's.
No, they'll notify you.
I understand, but then what's gonna happen after that? We'll be responsible for the 200.
No, you can lower, you can change your plan, so instead of like staying with the 500 gigs a month, we can lower it maybe down to 50 or 100. You have a little bit more options once you start your contract.
But then you would lower your gigs or whatever you call it, then it's gonna create another problem.
Yes, well, you would lower the priority speed, but you would still have the same level as everybody else if you run out. Which is still a solid connection if you go with it before.
Let me ask you, since you're the IT, which one do you prefer?
Honestly, right now, to get off the ground, I would go with Barcom. It doesn't add any additional cost. Plus, if we did want to go with
That's the point-to-point one?
yes, if we did want to go with other internet options for the public, we can then budget it out later.
So, okay, what, have we taken into consideration that most of the time when this rec center is being used, the JC's office is probably closed at that time?
Yes, from my understanding, it's mostly like the open gyms. That
I am gonna adjust my hours though during the summer, Commissioner.
I don't know, but my mentality is most of the time when somebody's gonna have an event, it's either on a weekend or after hours. So by that time, both the JP's office is closed and the county office is usually closed at 5 o'clock. So that would give the people access to more data,
More
gigabytes,
bandwidth, yes.
right? Does that make sense, or am I just kind
No,
of?
that makes sense.
That makes sense, I just wanna vote honestly on which provider to use,
No,
so I
I
can get
understand,
going.
I'm just trying to justify why, I'm still trying to justify and figure out why we would need 2 internet providers at a complex that's being used on the weekends. I'm trying to figure out why we would need 2, and we keep saying that, because the cameras, but we have cameras everywhere.
Commissioner, I said that I would bring that back at another
I
time for another
understand,
discussion.
but because it got brought up right now, I'm still trying to figure out, but that's fine. If Commissioner wants to bring it up later, that's fine, we can vote on 1, 2 days. If your recommendation was Barcom,
Yes.
I make the motion to approve Barcom for the
Second. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Odena for Barcom,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion
Can you
carries.
repeat which one, cause there's different dollar amounts.
3,000.
The last page?
Yes.
3,700? Discussion and appropriate action, approval of addition of camera system for Big Wells Center.
You have cameras already, or these are new cameras, new service?
New service.
New service.
technology one, and the back page,
Mhm.
it says wireless device PTP. Is it, it come with internet, or what's the wireless device for, the 3,700?
I apologize, that is a add-on from the last time.
It's an add-on?
Add-on, it was supposed to be taken off. This is just supposed to be cameras.
So there's no wireless device?
No. I mean, if we want to keep it, they can keep it, but.
Go and explain, but I don't want to do this.
This is for indoor and outdoor?
Just for outdoor.
On the Barcom one, there's an outdoor also. On the Barcom one, it says indoor and outdoor cameras. I know you're saying indoor only, but is Global indoor only, and then Barcom is both?
They're both, you can use both.
No, cause it, on here on the description, on the second page, it says there's gonna be 5 outdoor cameras, and then on the second page, third page, it says there's 2 indoor cameras.
Yes. So it's just the ones that are position light, but they're all going to be outside,
Oh, no, not inside.
not inside.
How many cameras are we looking at?
Total,
That's 5.
And these are all going in the rec center?
yes.
It says Barcom 1-year licensing, do we have to pay for that licensing every year?
Yes.
So every year is 1,245?
Yeah, it would be like the gym cameras.
Questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Kamish, are you encountering, any type of issues out there at the complex? At the rec center?
I have,
You have? Like inside or outside?
outside, that's why the cameras are mainly outside, just because I would still wanna provide privacy to like any, renter that would be renting inside the gym for like a party or something and such. But
Does the code enforcer have any cameras out there?
I have not been able to capture anything as far as code enforcer cameras on top of anything that has happened anywhere, because they're game guard cameras and they just record like 5 seconds at a time. And so I haven't, on my roads and every other direction, we haven't been able to get like actual camera footage from our game guard cameras with the code enforcer.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Commissioner, this is just my opinion and I hope you respect it.
Mhm.
But this is a lot of money for cameras for a location that is used occasionally. I would understand for your yard, because you've got a lot of equipment, you got personnel.
One's coming from my yard too.
I would understand that 100%, but for a location that's being used occasionally and that we've somehow or another been able to monitor for years throughout, since it's been in place, this, like I said, this is just my opinion, but this is a pretty good expenditure, and I hope if it's approved, it gets paid, it pays off somehow. But, like I said, you know, for the amount that the building is used on a day-to-day basis, it's a pretty good chunk of money, but that's just my opinion.
If I may, I know it gets used every other day, especially for the open gyms. I think Avery at one point told me there's sometimes 20, 30 kids showing up plus their parents.
So are there issues going on, or fights, or something?
Is there cameras at the rec center in Asherton, Javi?
Not to my knowledge.
No?
But it's a security issue. You don't want something to happen and then you not have
Well,
it.
but this is only exterior, correct?
Yes, it's only exterior.
And interior.
Mm-mm.
No, it's only exterior.
It says right here, look.
The two.
But if there's not
He just
interior.
said two though, there's
The-
only two inside, is what he said.
No, I'm sorry.
You're
There are
committed to
two indoor
misunderstanding me.
cameras.
Monday?
There are 2 indoor cameras for like the overhang.
Commissioner, you're committed to misunderstanding the situation. The
He
cameras are
just
in
said,
there,
I'm
but they're
going
not
off of what he's saying. He said there's 2 indoor cameras and 3 outdoor, and that's what this contract right here says. So I gotta go
Javi,
off
are
of
there
what's
any
black and white.
cameras inside the facility?
No, what I was trying to say is that they're meant for like the outside overhang. So they're not in direct weathering, but they'll be like in the little enclosure.
Like I said,
So nothing
committed
inside.
to
Nothing inside.
misunderstanding.
So what was to happen if somebody decides, they see a camera and they decide they're gonna throw a rock at it to damage it, so that it won't get recorded? Who pays for that?
We would end up having to replace the camera. Unless.
Yeah, usually the first thing somebody's gonna do whenever they wanna make sure they don't get captured,
Mm,
or spray painted if they do.
yeah. But usually you could see that up to the point when they start walking up.
I'd be concerned also with the interior, because if some incident happens inside, how are you gonna prove that thing didn't happen? Let's just say coincidentally, not because you wanna know who's renting the center or anything like that, but let's just say someone walked into the ladies' room, and then there's a charge on that. How are you gonna prove that? Being that we are responsible for renting the centers and the arenas, how do you prove that? I would be concerned if having at least one in the interior, where not to monitor what they're doing, but if an incident ever happens.
We can use one of
My and again, I'm gonna rely on myself. My cameras are set like that because we have lady firefighters, we have people that rent the thing, and something happen, we can always go back. As a matter of fact, one of my cameras was used by DPS not long ago for evidence. But I'm just saying, I would be concerned in putting a camera
We can add a camera.
in the building, because if an incident happens, how are we gonna justify that incident didn't happen?
If need be, we can add an additional camera, maybe one just overlooking the whole area. And to answer your question as well, I know with Barcom they use narcotic cameras, and narcotic cameras have artificial intelligence that can tell if somebody's covering the camera or if they're spraying something on it. So you would at least get an alert that something's happening.
Any other questions?
So is Barcom gonna install them, or you're gonna install the cameras?
Barcom is installed.
So that's why it's the 3,600, the fee for them to come?
Yes.
On that 1 year, like every year, the $1,245 fee, like, are we on a contract with them, or how does that work?
It's a 1-year licensing, so when you pay for 1 year, you get 1 year. Cause right now we need to renew some.
So the service would
I'm sorry?
The service, is it all included, the $1,000 for all 5 cameras, or
Yes.
it's?
That's a monthly service,
No, that's
Yearly.
yearly.
yearly service?
Is it for 7? Is it 7 or 5?
It was supposed to be 5 outdoor cameras. And
And then-
they included 2 outdoor ones.
So a
It
total
didn't
of
work.
7.
Yeah.
So it'd be $1,200 a year. It's a total of 7 cameras, you said?
Mhm.
It says 7 there. Cause they increased 2 for the.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
So it's 7 cameras,
Mhm.
and it's $1,200?
It's, the total amount is for the 7 cameras, one-time setup fees of $14,724. But then the yearly fee is $1,245.58.
Can we move one of these ones indoor?
Yes.
He's asking if you could move one of these cameras indoor.
Yes, we can.
Instead of adding another one?
Mhm.
Other questions?
So your recommendation would be Barcom?
Yes.
Motion to approve for Barcom. You need the amount to say?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Motion to approve what?
Barcom, do you need the amount?
No, I,
Okay.
So it's 7 cameras.
One is the one.
Get me a quote for the rec center, different quotes for all this, so I can stop using, I have the game cameras outside.
Oh, we can do it.
is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Talamantes. All in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Any opposition? You're gonna abstain? Money? Money?
I'm trying to understand it, but I'll take it.
Commissioner Ogama, did you, for it, I didn't hear,
For the bar, that's what he suggested, the bar.
the Barcom? I have an abstention by Commissioner Uranda. 3.27, discussion and appropriate action approval of addition of a camera system for the Road and Bridge Yard in Precinct 3. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
What are we looking at here, Mr. Castellano?
camera system for the loader bridge.
Understand?
Okay, I think you gave us a global, quote twice.
Did I?
I think so, from what?
It's 17,000 and change.
No, I'm sorry, you're correct.
You have it?
Yes.
How?
I thought it was the same, but it's not.
17,599.71 for the installation.
For installing cameras?
For installing cameras,
It's
how
not,
many
it's
cameras?
different. Look
This
at
would be,
the right here, the camera numbers.
Five.
Look at the camera numbers, the descriptions of the cameras.
This says 5 cameras, am I noticing?
Yes, all these hers are the same.
Yeah, am I noticing?
Here you go.
How many cameras, Kevin?
Okay, give us 1 second, you make sure he has the right global, quote.
Here it says 5 cameras, and then the year licensing is 8 cameras.
On the global, you gave me the same one.
Yeah, global.
Page 3.
It's the same quote twice. You gave it to us for the rec center and then one for the yard. But they're not the same cameras for both areas, because they were different cameras. So global's quote is
they are together. For both. Together for both, locations.
What do you
It's
mean?
incorrect. There's a subset of it that's, some cameras are for the rec center and some are for the,
So the 7 cameras we just approved, some are for the rec center and some are for the
so, no, the seven that we were approved were for Barcom, and that was just for the rec center. But the global quote, you saying it's, double, it's because it's for the same, 2 sites. It includes both sites.
You just gave us another quote from Markham.
Yes, I know.
And this is for the yard.
Yeah, that one's for New York. But I'm talking about global.
So for global, it was, the quote you gave us right now for the other item, that was the 22,000 was for
For both?
both locations?
Yes, but it was a different type of quote, so give me 1 second. I can pull up the trust.
how they can't use the both of them because the number of cameras that are on the global quote.
Hmm?
It can't be for both of them because the number of cameras that are on the global quote.
Okay.
Like there's only 7 cameras on this one, so if global has the road and bridge and the rec center combined, it still would be more than 7 cameras that I ordered. So global, are you saying that it's just a duplicate, like it was the same amount of cameras that we selected, we just told them to do a duplication?
No, it was meant for, as a double.
I don't think that the global, I'll wait for you to look at, and let me know, but I don't think the global quote is correct for the road and bridge office. What,
It might be cheaper if global gave us the $22,000 quote for both, then you're saving money there.
Yeah, but I think that one, if I
Because
remember.
instead of getting Barcom for 14,000 and then another Barcom for 17,000, we might as well go with global if it's for both.
Yeah. Well, I think it's only
Yeah.
because, they didn't include, the multiple cameras on the outside.
Now you're just confused.
This one was, they originally came down about a year ago. So if I remember correctly, they had different, amounts for like just the recreation side. But they kept.
so for the road and bridge camera system, the global quote isn't correct. Because he's saying that they came down a year ago, so he just duplicated it and did the 5 cameras. Barcom, which is tips, this one is the one that has like the camera door ring system for like the coming in and the coming out. This one also has a camera dome above my office, which kind of does a 360, and then it also oversees the equipment and both yards. Barcom.
And where, this is coming out of what budget, Commissioner?
I I'm using my COs to get me up and running.
You get all of these?
So you already have Barcom in your office?
No, ma'am, I don't have Barcom. I just remember doing this quote walkthrough within this one, because Barcom is chips approved. It's by board. These are not, Logo is not. And so when we went with Barcom, I do remember having the meeting with them, and so we discussed a dome above my office, so you can kind of see 360 around, and then we also talked about, like, so to speak, it's like a Ring doorbell camera, but it's a more sophisticated. And so like I would be able like to speak from the camera to from my office, from my phone. This is the last one, and this is the most correct one, which would be the Barcom, which is the TIPS approved. Global quote isn't correct.
What's the global definition?
I don't honestly, because remember, so you can kind of remember the first time that I brought it to Commissioner's Court. Remember I brought it for the JP's office. I bought it for the Rexel was one of the first people that kind of reached out to us. But when we brought it to Commissioner's Court, we went ahead and we tabled it because it wasn't by board approved or TIPS approved. So then that's when we went out most recently, we got in contact with Barcom, and Barcom is by board. And so we ran the same quotes of what we wanted through Barcom. So Global was the first contract that came through almost a year ago, and then it wasn't by board, so we said go back and find something else, so this is what we came back with, which was Barcom, which is TIPS approved.
But the problem is that we already approved Barcom for the internet service. And we already approved Barcom for the cameras at the rec center. It makes really no sense to go with a different company for the yard, because now you're gonna have two different companies, when something doesn't work, you're gonna have different companies trying to take,
Fix each other's stuff.
right, and you just stick to one, it's all on them, the internet and the cameras.
That's what my idea, it was just to have a one-stop shop.
And as I mentioned earlier, that the yard, I can understand because there's equipment, people on a daily basis, Monday through Friday.
How many cameras is it for the yards? Oh, and there's also a doorbell reader?
Yes.
Me and Javi kind of went back and forth with putting a card reader on the front door, and we kind of agreed that we felt the camera on the front door would be an easier fix and more suitable rather than trying to put a card reader on that front door.
So 8 cameras.
Yes, ma'am.
Do all the precincts have cameras?
Game cam, we have one game cam and say aimed at the front gate. So whoever comes in and pulls out, anybody ever leaves the gate open, we don't know who. But we have one at the front, aiming at the front gate, and one in the back, where we move equipment around. That's it.
Mr. Bernard?
And then the.
Like a game?
I have game at Walmart. Since I took office.
Yeah, I think I looked at your connection, because I know that you had them at your office, and I know there was a Walmart camera system. I would rather leave something in place that can be like, for later on, you know, God forbid I'm not in office or anything like that. It kind of just holds the equipment accountable, and it kind of has something in place that would make sure you always have eyes on that one.
How many, I'm just curious, because I didn't realize how expensive, I guess, commercial cameras are. Like, your basic, like, Blink or, ADT or all that stuff, like, that doesn't work?
They're decent cameras, but these are, they can be integrated with more stuff, like how she, talked about the doorbell camera. You can integrate it with the actual cameras. If we had a badge reader there instead, anytime anybody badge reads, they would, shoot them, and, you can see who's badging in, see if it's the right person or not.
I think they put one at the county agents.
But the fire station does have like regular camera system as well, doesn't it? It's not just game guard cameras.
It has, if I remember correctly, it's a different type of brand, but but that one you have to have a server on hand to actually store all the recordings. In addition to Barcom and Mercata, they actually store to the cloud, so we don't have to worry about having anything on premises.
So you have your, camera system at the fire station?
I'm sorry?
Your camera system at the fire station? How do you, who's that provider?
It's got I don't think we have a provider for that. It's just regular
It
recording.
records,
It's just regular recording.
but their
nothing-
system came with the building when they.
Yeah, we ended it to that.
Yeah.
But that, what's the brand you just said right now? Bling?
Meter, ADT.
Yeah, they have that, push button,
Mm.
it records you and you can talk to them. As long as your internet working.
I know on the one for the rec center, it was like, how much was it? 14,000 or something? This one, is this one more because it has that door camera or?
Yes.
It has more added to it, not just the camera. The camera costs me $1,703. The camera,
For the doorbell?
yes, it's $1,703.81. That's how much the camera itself costs.
Gotcha. And you, with that camera, that you said it's $1,700 for that door camera,
We added it because we were trying to think if we wanted to put a door reader to scan in or scan out, or if we wanted to do this, and it's just cheaper and more quicker to get up and running.
so you don't have to have a door camera.
I do have to have the door, but I don't have to have the door reader.
No, you don't have to have a door.
Yes, no, I don't have the door reader.
Well, Commissioner, I did say it earlier, if it's at your yard where, to me, it makes a lot of sense to have cameras and that's what your choice is, and you're paying it out of your COs, I make the motion to approve.
Which one?
The bark, is that what you're recommending?
Yeah, Barcom.
And that would keep you consistent
Yes.
with your internet provider, your cameras at the
That's
complex,
what- Mhm.
and the cameras at the yard.
Yes.
I have a motion by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.28, discussion of appropriate action, approval of internet renewal or replacement, the addition of new internet service accounts, renewal of existing contracts, annual replacement of internet services for certain county buildings as needed.
I'd like to look at the starting quote I gave you earlier. That's where it's coming from.
No, we're still gonna discuss it, there's three, where did Marty go?
Change your bathroom language.
Did you go to the restroom?
Yes. Or she walked out.
What is this in regards to, Mr. Castaneda?
Yes, so, a couple of months ago, we got notified that we are going to lose access to the internet for several of our sites, which includes the JP's office in Big Wells and in Asherton. And the 303 South Fifth Street, which I believe is one of our buildings. 303. I believe that is the courthouse.
Okay, who are we in service with?
AT&T.
Is the mic on, sir? Cause I can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry. We're in service with AT&T. They're canceling all their copper lines. The old DSL lines, they're canceling all of them. But the two main ones are both JP's in Big Wells and Asherton. As well, I wanted to give it the option as to add a couple other sites like Metro or the landfill if need be, since they don't have internet.
And the resound one is for what?
The resound is mostly for within Carrizo Hill area. We're not doing. Joshua, he can speak more on resound.
Mr. Bennett, are we still using that building?
Which one?
The 4-H building? Is it still being used?
The courthouse south?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's using it? Aside from you, who else is using
Well,
it?
I thought they had elections there too, didn't they?
What?
I thought she had elections there too.
Yes, they hold the.
Last time, but is it like on a daily basis, is it being used?
For exercise, yes, but not for county workers, no.
There's also a camera system that's in there that
There's
runs
cameras?
off of
Oh yeah, we do
internet.
have camera system, security.
Yeah, which uses the internet
You need an
for the cameras.
So resound is, all these three quotes are for this line item.
Yes.
So, if you wanted to do the AT&T upgrade that he presented the last time, it would be this one. But if not, you have a few areas of which are gonna cancel their service at the end of the month.
Yes, so
That's the ones you're talking about, the JP's office, right?
So
the
that's why
JP
he's offering
ones
you
are the main
resound
ones,
for
but right now,
installation if you don't
Courthouse South
put a
will end in
upgrade
November,
date.
so we have some time for that.
That's what we're trying to hear, and say that again,
So-
I'm sorry.
So Courthouse South their service will end in November. This both the JP's offices and at the end of this month. So they're the main
So
ones.
the AT&T one that you gave us here, that's for everything, the
That-
whole county?
It's for the whole county, but we could specify which ones. If we want to go with AT&T, there's three main ones: the sheriff's office, the historic, and this building. Before we can add any additional ones to it.
But on a practical sense, it'd just be practical just to go with one vendor, correct? Like practically speaking, instead of having like multiple contracts?
Yes, although if the prices didn't work out, I got multiple.
Gotcha. Yes, ma'am.
This is the second time as well that we're gonna this item. This was the one item that
I
we were gonna
remember
have a
for
meeting with.
add
Yes.
additional, so he's saying what he's giving us now is with everything.
Yes, that's this is the second one, so this is the second time that he presented us with everything. The only thing now that's different from when we brought it back to court, I wanna say it was about 4 courts ago, was that now we have actual areas that are gonna lose their connection at the end of the month and soon
Oh, I
after,
understand.
so
So
that's
that
why they
we
were
can-
signed. But it is the second time as well that this one has been brought to Commissioner's Court.
Mr. Castaneda, the total base monthly rate, if we go with AT&T for all these buildings, is $8,462.33, is that correct?
If we go with the entirety of them?
Yes. Correct?
Yes.
And just help me understand, it says total credit if ordered at 100M, says $28,000,
So
what does that mean?
if we, cause it's a big, deal that we would get on contract with AT&T for all
It's a
these
big
sites. A big deal, like, we're getting a package, they're getting multiple sites connected at once. So they gave us I believe it was like a $2,000 credit.
Okay. So what is it, $28,000 in?
So that would be, I believe, instead of paying like the full, 8,000 a month, it would be, $2,000 less. Or, a significant amount less, like it gets credit to the account, and we pay less over time.
So
So
2,000 a
essentially-
month is what they're gonna credit you with that, and it's gonna equal 23.
So we'll be paying 28,000 a year?
No, we would,
It's on the last page. On it? Yes.
And a year's 100,000. So from the 100,000, you'll be
So
saving
we'll get a $28,000 credit. So then that would be about, how much, Commissioner Holdo, since you have the calculator? 73,500 a year? And that's for
with AT&T.
everything that's included here.
and that's just, yes.
Is that our contract? Because remember, AT&T always changes their prices
They always do.
on a monthly basis.
It says on here, if I'm not mistaken, this would include internet also in the Commissioner's Office, Asherton and Bigos.
Yes.
So the internet, the Barcom will provide the point-to-point, and our internet connection would be AT&T. The only thing that I'm seeing on here is the Petrie building, and I think Petrie we just went with Resound.
The Petrie building is on here?
Yes.
Yes,
Remember,
it's
this
just
was
a
the
quote.
first quote that was presented a while back. So it has the sheriff's office,
So we take off the Petrie building.
yes.
So this is not,
And
No,
then
it
she
ju- it
wants
just
to
shows
switch
what it
over
would be for
provide
each
did
one.
anything change by any chance?
Or,
Like, did any of these numbers change by any chance?
this is a renewal that they gave me.
But we wouldn't include the Petrie building, because Petrie
No.
has Resound, and on here, there's Petrie's on here.
It's just a quote. Right now, what I'm recommending that we do is just get the three main sites that we already have on this type of network, and get, both the JP's offices and then the one in Courthouse South.
And we would take off the internet for the rec center too, right? Cause we just approved for internet at the rec.
We
center.
improved to get it connected basically to the JP's internet.
But that's internet.
But that's it, it's internet, but it depends on the JP's office. It's like how it's set up for the arena right now.
I know, but when it is connected, are they gonna have internet?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But
so
we
then-
can take off the quote on here for the rec center, right?
Yes. Yes, unless you wanna add it for now to give the, addition for the public, internet.
Because honestly, even at that, even
If I might add,
And
If-
for Resound, I know it says
do you wanna say this is on
116 or 140. Yeah, the Resound, the 116 and 140, is that for all our locations or
No, ma'am. No, Your Honor, that'd be per site.
it'd be what?
That'd be per location. So it'd be the one, whichever
A
corporate.
month.
Yes,
Per
per
location.
location.
but it's only for the landfill and, the other areas, because I did talk with him, and he can't give me internet connection for this.
So Resound doesn't do internet for JP3?
Correct.
What about JP4 and Asherton?
Asherton is right at the edge of our network, and so we'd have to do a site survey to make sure that we could confidently do that.
So this, a landfill for the Resound, it'd be for the landfill, then what other location?
Does Resound do internet here at this courthouse?
but this one, no.
Not currently.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm
We
not saying
can
current,
service
I'm
it.
saying you can service
Yes.
it. And it would be for this amount, the 116 or the 140?
It would be a slightly different amount because we gotta I said create a mesh network that can get multiple towers, multiple radio towers.
What is that ballpark figure?
Probably close to the Petra building.
So about 380 a month, around there.
Which is cheaper than 425.
Yes.
So today, we can either, approve the one AT&T that encompasses all of them, but more importantly, you're asking for us to make a decision regarding precinct 3 JP, precinct 4 JP, and what else?
Courthouse
And
South,
the courthouse south, which is the historical courthouse or the one way over yonder?
way over
Where Mr. Petty that works out? That one.
Yes.
Well, you said you'd use it for workouts, Mr. Petty.
During the holiday.
So actually, the most important is JP 3 and 4, right?
Correct.
Because they need it the most.
I would think that the landfill is about to disconnect as well, and probably use their internet.
The landfill only has hotspot right now.
Oh,
So, we can get them, this is why I kind of made it a little bit vague, is so that if we wanted to add, one site has this service provider and the other one has AT&T or whatnot, then we can do so.
I think right now, for the sake of practicability and also, for the need, and there's an urgency for the JPs, I mean, we only have these two quotes, and from my distinct understanding, Resound does not do JP 3 or JP 4, so we pretty much have to vote to go ahead and approve the AT&T.
We,
Or-
as far as JP4 goes, I would also recommend, I believe you still have the Starlink quote there, which you could also use.
Where's the starting?
it's gonna be on the last one, on the, is it? For their internet connections for the rec center,
I don't know, where's that at?
in the packet of that one.
Second to last.
So how much is it for Starlink for Asherton?
150 would
It'll be the same as the 2,000
2026.
150, he's saying.
for the, which includes the 155 a month.
Yes, so,
He says 155.
Yes.
I know, so the 2,000 is what he's talking about, and he's talking about like the startup,
set up.
to set up, so what you're gonna be paying
It-
monthly would be the 150, because he's saying that the 150 gigabyte would be the one that's more
Yep.
expensive.
So, the equipment just basically includes, a different type of satellite dish that's, more used for, professional settings instead of like residential.
I will be honest with you, I still don't like my Starlink internet connection. I don't,
I was gonna say, I think we should just stick to AT&T and that's it.
yeah, I don't
One
like,
of them. I can't do my commodities in Asherton with the weekly. There's no way.
What do you have?
Connect.
the weekly, the,
She
it's
said she can't do her commodities in Asherton with Starlink, right? Can't do it.
it's not a very good, and if it's cloudy or anything like that, it's not.
We've tried it last year because Maribel was in charge and there's no way.
What do you have
Still
at,
can't.
what do you have at the rec center, Commissioner?
At the rec center,
It's
Spectrum.
It's Spectrum.
Spectrum?
At the moment, we can't get Spectrum right now. We can't get new contract
We
with
can.
Spectrum.
So my
Your motion
mine
is
is
to
to
be
be
AT&T.
AT&T.
I have a motion from Commissioner Rubalcaba.
I'm sorry, if I may, that's just to cover JP3 and JP4.
What's your motion, Commissioner?
And 3 and South Courthouse.
In Colorado South. Just giving you as an option, would you also like to add the Metro and Metro?
If it's possible.
Hobby,
But we don't have a quote for that.
Yes,
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's all in here.
can, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Is AT&T gonna let you pick and choose and still give you the $2,000 credit if you don't go for everything that's on this thing?
that might be affected by if we don't go for everything.
So,
So everybody else, what do we all have?
Everybody has different commissioners, there's some that have Spectrum, Sheriff also has Starlink. There's you have Resound at the Petrie, so we have different, and that's the thing that I had asked when Commissioner Talamantes had brought it in the first time, was for us to get a quote that encompassed everything, because there's multiple contracts that we're doing, and I think that defeats the purpose of the efficiency of it and having multiple contracts. And obviously Commissioner Talamantes just mentioned right now that she's not very happy with starting. So, I mean, we could have gotten her AT&T, but we just have multiple contracts. So I'm gonna also be of the position with you, Commissioner Noguera, that if we're just gonna go with AT&T, that it be for everything that's on here, obviously with the exception of Commissioner Talamantes' office, because she currently has starting until that contract runs out and we can ask for it to be added. But another thing that
I don't
Commissioner,
have a contract with AT&T.
another question that Commissioner Talamantes just brought up, Mr. Castañeda, is that will that credit of 28,000 for the year that they're gonna give us still be applicable, given that we're not gonna have the Petrie building in this, because Commissioner Noguera just got resound, so we have to take that one off of there.
It's based on all of the total number of sites,
See.
which I believe it's 2,000 per site, and there was about 14 sites, so that's 28. So it'd be
So it'll
two
remove it?
sites. Yeah.
So we need to,
2,000
less.
Yes, 2,000 less.
So Judge, I was about to tell you, my internet connection at my office, I don't have a contract on it, and I would like to be included with this if we're gonna all
So you just need
transition.
to notify us, start it to, like, when you
It's
give a
month to month.
30-day notice or something, that you're not gonna use it anymore. Make sure you get that, Mr. Pereira, so they won't charge you.
And honestly, has the.
I know, but it defeats the purpose, Mr. Pereira. We
Sure.
had this gentleman come in and they've been working on Commissioner Rubalcaba's Petrie building and setting everything up, and then for us to turn around and say we don't want it after all. If we knew that, we would have never
Did you
gone
get
with
your
it.
Starlink connection?
It's just wasteful
You
spending.
haven't gotten it yet?
That's what I'm saying.
So my
Which,
Starlink connection, I
the
might be
main-
able to pass
the
it
main
to you.
thing for Resound, what I wanted them originally for was as a backup internet source in case one went down. But I think these would be, Resound would be actually perfect for these little sites like the backbone and the metro, or if you wanted to get internet out at your yard, maybe over there as well.
But again, it kind of defeats the purpose of us splitting it up because the goal was to go with one company, so we're only
Yes,
dealing with one company.
But as you can see, some of the prices are a little high. I know we can adjust the prices once we start a contract with AT&T. You can like lower it back to the original amount that it's currently at, or you can increase it and give you a little bit more coverage.
Your motion, Commissioner Noguera?
My motion was for all these.
I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera for AT&T,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.29, discussion and appropriate action, approval of addition of camera system for the JP3 building.
So we just approved the AT&T for all locations?
Since it's already out.
Okay, and minus the Petrie building, since the Petrie building is already has a contract attached to it. Excuse me?
He said he can't hear how he's speaking
No.
into the mic, that there's no volume.
Can you try to turn it up, hon?
On your, there's like, there's no.
So on this one, Judge, I'm not too sure where we would pull funds from this one since it is for the courthouse. If I needed to, I would use the others. But I could also talk with Judge Hernandez and Commissioner Carmona.
Sorry, what?
Which is with this one is for the JP's office, the courthouse, and Big Wells. And so I was telling her that I don't have assigned funds for this one yet because I wanted to talk with you. And if we didn't get with you, then we could probably get with Judge Hernandez as well to see what she has available in her budget. But I just wanted to bring the price up because we worked on all areas together. But since it is a courthouse, I wasn't too sure if this was gonna be coming out under your budget.
if we put cameras on there, does it come out of my budget
Yeah, because it's courthouse limits.
for the maintenance?
Does he have it in his budget?
No.
No, there's some money.
not
That's
for
what I said,
cameras.
I could help, or I can ask Judge Hernandez for
Which one
any
you want?
of
Me
his-
too.
JP Hernandez and Big Boss is what she's saying.
Whatever budget y'all wanna take it out of.
I don't think
Agree.
she has.
I can hear you, sir.
No,
She
none of
doesn't,
it.
Judge Hernandez does not have in her budget for cameras.
Okay, so then you can't take it out of her,
Exactly, and Commissioner Carmona does not have it in his budget
then
either.
you can't either.
Why doesn't he does recommend COs or anything?
Not for him, for this courthouse minutes.
No, we don't.
I mean, if he wants to use his seals, he can, but he's not obligated to.
Well, see, that's what I was saying, since it was the courthouse, if he wanted to use the COs, I wanted to have, presented, but if not, then I would talk to Judge Hernandez and I would help her over there. She is the one that did this quote. She, requested one camera inside where her clerk is, I believe one at her carport and one at,
There's four.
the front door, yes. And one at she has a record storage unit in the back.
So I guess it would be contingent on where you're gonna pull funds, 'cause
If I have to pay for it all, so I will, again, just considering that it was the courthouse and Commissioner Carmona is over the courthouse, I would just, if you would wanna use his COs to be able to bring that courthouse up to code and the cameras, I would appreciate it, but if not, then I'll go back to the drawing board where if I can have an approval, I can see where I can pull the funds from.
I'd love to see what.
Mr. P, since we approved Barcom for different offices, is there a way we could go back and see if they'll give us a discount, since we're doing it for buildings?
I was gonna ask Copy the same thing in regards to, because it's a hefty price to pay for the, licensing for it. Cause we're having to pay different amounts at different locations yearly / monthly. For licensing, can't they give you like one license for the whole entire county since we're giving them their business for already three or four different locations?
The license is on, per camera.
Or at least a setup fee?
I would say maybe the
I
setup.
can ask them, we separated because of the budgeting reasons, but if we get them all approved, then I can go back and ask to see if,
Cause I know on
I
the Verkada, they're gonna charge you a yearly fee.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like we did when we bought the Verkada ones.
Mhm.
We paid the Verkada and then there's a yearly fee on it. I know they're gonna charge you individually for those, but the setup fee, since they're doing 3 or 4 buildings.
Mhm.
Because for the labor, that one building, they're charging $2,760 for labor. And then the labor that they charge for Commissioner Talamantes' office is $4,140. And then the labor that they're charging for the rec center, is $2,650, so close to almost 10,000 just for labor. So perhaps maybe they can give you, a more concise number, reduced price for having all that one vendor.
I know they talked about how if they charge for like a set block of hours, if they have to come down and do work on the cameras, but if they do like 20 or so, then usually they will.
Where are they from?
I was about to say
San
the only
Antonio.
concern.
San Antonio?
Yeah.
I was talking to you.
Global Tech is from Laredo.
But the only thing that I would say is that as far as like the licensing, to make sure that Judge Hernandez is the only one that has access to her cameras, since it's Judge Hernandez and Constance. They would be the only ones to have access. I wouldn't want access to their camera system. So like as far as licensing goes, is all I was trying to point out, is like just to make sure that they're the only ones that have access to their own systems. What?
That would give you,
No, because she's looking at you and then she's looking over here, I'm just trying to figure out what questions she has or what she's trying to.
I'm just looking.
No, and I'm just saying, like, if you had any, if there was
Well, if I have
any
questions,
input.
I'll ask you, Mr. Castaneda.
And I can definitely ask them to see if they can get us a better deal since we approved of them so much.
Anybody else have questions? I'm sorry.
So on all these buildings, who else is gonna have access to the cameras?
Just the elected.
Just the person in charge of them.
So would it be the sheriff also? Because if there's an incident that happens, somebody needs to come to see those cameras.
I
Well, you give them access to it, but the panic buttons would kind of play into effect thereafter. So Judge Hernandez, like let's just say something happened at the courthouse, then Judge Hernandez would hit the panic button and then the sheriff would have access through Judge Hernandez to access her camera system. Same thing would happen like at the rec center, if the panic button got hit and they were notified to go out there, and then I would give them access to the camera system.
If they wanted to as well, and it depends on the elected per location, you could set it up in their new dispatch office. They have some TVs there, for cameras.
I think that we need to set up all the camera systems like as a secondary source, but I think that that's a discussion for sometimes after budget or during budget, because I do know that we have different camera systems in different areas and we don't have any clear indicator of like who do we go to for our camera systems in Dimmit County.
Well, even if that, I mean, if the sheriff needed to get it for part of an investigation, he could just go to the elected or whoever has access to get it. I mean, that's part of the investigation process for criminal purposes or investigation.
Because right now, does the sheriff have access to the camera system here at the courthouse?
It's just security.
Yeah.
So then he has to come.
So
and
like,
access.
that, I mean, it's like if incident happens at HEB, the sheriff can't just go to the HEB. He can ask them, right, sheriff, like, hey, will you give me the videos? If not, you have to get a warrant for those videos.
Usually subpoena, but mainly
A
they
subpoena.
will give us a
Yeah.
copy of it.
So,
It's like I said on my camera, they just came in with me.
yeah.
The DPS.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna help and assist in a crime, I would think every elected official would wanna help and just tell the sheriff, here you go. So, any other questions?
What do you recommend on that one? Barcom also? Motion to approve Bark.
And then you'll find out where you're gonna pull them from, Commissioner. I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by
That's the one
Commissioner.
we don't know where the finance.
Correct.
Well, we
Commissioner Alonso, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
So this is the final, they're not gonna ask if they can give the discount?
I'll ask to see if,
With the exception of asking if they'll.
I'll bring it back as informational on the next commissioner's court, just to notify you of the decision. Yes. Okay, so
3.30, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase a battery backup for DCSO servers, switches, and routers.
oh,
So,
I would need to go back and get the, or I would need to talk to them.
you want to,
A motion to table?
I have a motion to table by Commissioner
Do you need
Noguera.
it ASAP or is something that can wait?
It's something like wait a little bit.
Just make sure to bring it back.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Javi. 3.31, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from the landfill. Motion to table.
Second.
Do we have to be here?
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.32, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from sanitation for the month of April 2026.
Motion to keep.
Motion to table.
Why are we tabling it? I thought last time we said they would be here. I mean, they don't have to be here until I'm here, as long as the elected official supervisor's here.
The same thing.
Uh-huh, so that, I mean,
That's what happened, so we tabled it.
table it.
Motion to table by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
I wanna make sure, do we have to be here then every month?
Not every month, just the third quarter.
Okay.
4.1, discussion and appropriate action, approval for Robert Ibarra and Cesar Martinez to attend the 26th Texas Gang Conference in San Antonio.
I'm sorry, can I ask what was the, for every month or every quarter?
Every quarter, Ms. Miranda will come and present her.
So as long as her report is here, we can take in the report, correct?
I would table it for next
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve on Commissioner Alonso Carmona, second. Second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.2, discussion and appropriate action approval for Jonathan Saldana and Diego Valdez to attend the new detective school and eyewitness identification class at Pearsall.
Motion.
Which one's that one? Sheriff, do we have that one?
You have it now?
Or- I don't have the one for Jonathan Saldana. I have Cesar's and Robert. Okay, I see Jonathan's right here. Okay.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.3, approval for Mario Vargas to attend the Texas SFST instructor course in New Braunfels. Motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action approval for reimbursement for Admin Montes, Captain George Alvarado, and Lieutenant Francisco Perez to attend the safety report training Monday, April 27th, 2026, excuse me.
So moved.
That's the reimbursement for what, Ms. Montes?
That's the one we went to training and.
I know, but I just have the front part, do you have?
Oh,
the-
I didn't know I had to do,
The backup, but you're asking reimbursement for what, mileage or meals or what?
just the meal.
Oh, just the meals.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
How much is the amount that we're in motion?
I know, that's what I'm saying, I don't have that.
If I can table it, to be honest, you would, just, motion to table.
I have a motion, you're withdrawing your motion or you're gonna keep your motion?
I'll withdraw.
I have a motion to table by Commissioner, Talamantes, second. Second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.5, discussion and appropriate action, jail status report. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the report.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Lopez. 4.6, Sheriff's Report. Is this one, verdad, Sheriff?
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions of the Sheriff?
Commissioner Talamantes, also going back to you, we are at 90%.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I don't know what to say, I know that we spoke at one time, we were like, no, we are at 90%, and you would be there, quickly. I remember that. Thank you for that, Sheriff, I do appreciate it.
He said that you were at 89.
89.
89.
And then for that illegal dumping, that's something that's been since before I took office. I know we've cited the person, gone to court on it, the illegal dumping case that Mr.
Oh,
Gonzalez
that's
talked
what
about.
I was talking about.
And they've been taken to court by TCQ even. Still ongoing.
Same person still
Same person.
Any questions of the Sheriff?
So moved.
For the same
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Second by Commissioner
I
Noguera.
have a question on the sheriff. I know the contract for the doctor was going to be up.
It's being reviewed, I believe, by
Mr. Franklin.
Franklin.
And so you said that you were at the 90%, right? as
That's
of
correct.
today?
Yes.
And,
Does he have a different reporting system, or why did he say?
I don't know if he's run the
89%?
reports, but it's gonna run the same process, same, CJS, you log on and run the report, it's gonna be the same one.
I just didn't know if it was a different one because he said 89%.
We were at 89, but, it was a Friday, we ran the reports, we're 90%.
as far as the system that's going up, I do hope that that kind of like alleviates and kind of time stops like the cases being submitted and how, if they're being rejected, if they're coming back and forth. He's not here, so I'm gonna touch the topic too much because I don't wanna get accused of attacking him when he's not here. But it is still a discussion that I hope that we do have eventually, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it isn't almost unbearable sometimes to have a civilized conversation with him. And obviously, we have a lot of things to do, and we're taking care of a lot of things that it seems like the last thing that we do wanna do, but eventually we are gonna have that discussion and make sure that we get on the right page, but hopefully that system, once we do get on the right page, that system will help keep
half of everything.
And
It is
going back
true.
off what Commissioner Talamontes is saying, at least for me, it's really hard and it's sad because he's saying,
He says one thing.
yeah, and he said, that y'all turned in 31 cases, but he had to reject 27, so that means there's 27 victims, or possible victims, that are not getting justice, and I don't know why he's choosing to reject them, I'm not looking at them.
Some of them is easy correct, but he's just not allowing it. Some of them, I believe he mentioned that the videos, he couldn't open the videos of photos with this LGS, it'll be,
And I feel like stuff like that, those are like easy fixes that can be done, so that these individuals have justice, my goodness. So I think that's the hardest part, I think that's where she's coming
Yeah,
from,
cause even the
because-
mentality of like him saying, well, I'm not your supervisor, well, at the end of the day, it's still our job as electeds to make sure that all the officers are communicating together, but you can definitely see his mindset just by some of the comments that he says of not wanting to be helpful towards
Yes, sir.
making sure that the cases are being processed, and because if there are simple issues, you know, there's ways that IT can help, or that's why I was saying the emails would have been a great thing, so that way if he emails you back and says, hey, this and this and this, you know, your investigators would have the opportunity to email back step-by-step instructions if he's having trouble opening a file, whatever it is, and it shows, because if he's still saying that there's 27 cases, he still doesn't have any paperwork or didn't present us any paperwork showing why the cases were rejected or what happened, because he's saying, I'm not the supervisor, which is still contradicting what we're asking him to do, which is to fix the system. I appreciate you, Sheriff Bill, I really do. I know that this has been a long matter and it's the best for all Denver County, so I really do appreciate you.
Thank you, Sheriff. 5.1, discussion and appropriate action, the 26-27 health insurance renewal. I'm gonna motion to table, Mr. Pereira and I need to meet with, the TAC, insurance rep. We're anticipating on meeting with her sometime next week, so we'll have that before the court at the next Commissioners Court.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Consideration and approval of new time clock system, new time clock system, time clock plus TCP. Did I say that right, Mr. Ortiz?
Yep.
It was a lot of time clocks in there.
I need to have this tabled at this
I
point.
have a motion to table. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner
Why are
Alonso
we-
Carmona.
Because I need to look at it some more.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition?
So we will bring it back next week, next
I
Commissioners
don't
Court?
know, I can't guarantee what time. Right now, we're real tied up with the audit, and something change like this requires a lot of time from our office. And so that's why we're taking our time to do it, so basically make sure that the books are not get messed up.
Mr.
I see the teeth are shaking your head.
Well, and he's basically just not ready for it, so it can't happen.
Okay. 5.3, discussion and appropriate action, meal reimbursements for Office of Judge 365th, Erlinda Villa, Lorena La Fuente, Patricia Salinas, Melissa Garcia, Clarissa Valadez.
These are a few more they added on Friday. It's the same people, they just added more.
I'm gonna, ask,
The addition can,
no, we're not going, I'm gonna ask to, table the addition, cause Ms. Hernandez said she was getting some information that they sent her as well on the agenda, and the additional ones, to be tabled.
that's what I was gonna say, I was gonna say, let me finish, if we can table the addition, because we're required to give it no later than Wednesday.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Rubalcaba.
Okay. Second.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 5.4, discussion and appropriate action,
Oh,
budget
see.
adjustment.
You're tabling the whole thing?
Hold on, you said that we're only gonna table the
I
last minute.
I apologize, thank you,
No,
Commissioner
This,
Rubalcaba.
this is being tabled, we're gonna approve.
Okay, I apologize. The motion to table the items we just received was by Commissioner Rubalcaba and second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. In regards to what was put on the agenda, is there a motion to approve those items?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. We have 5.4, discussion, budget adjustment between the sanitation department.
on the next agenda because we didn't approve any of these, right?
Those didn't get approved, no, because they didn't submit those, and plus, the judge's office had called last week in regards
So
to.
then we just approved what was on our backup.
Correct. 5.4 is it, the sanitation,
So move.
it is,
Oh, sorry.
from tipping fees, maintenance repairs, repair dumpster, repair dumpster to containers, capital equipment, fuel and postage.
Motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
5, discussion appropriate action, budget adjustment.
Could we table that if we put it in the wrong precinct?
Yes, I have a motion to table, is there a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Noguera, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 5.6, budget adjustment number 20 between the jail, and that is from supplies, telephone, utilities, lease agreement, data processing, maintenance repair equipment, linens to overtime, maintenance repair building, and janitorial services.
Motion.
Did we already run out of overtime with
Yes.
the grants?
So what they said was that they had a lot of transports the last couple of months and that they've been using the overtime for the jailers.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, second by Commissioner Noguera, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 5.7 is the claim docket, do you have that, Mr. Pereira? Oh, thank you so much.
Judge, can we open back up, the one that was tabled by Mr. Perea, the Constable 3, because that looks the same as what the other constables did.
Right, but it should be a constable too.
This is for Constable 2, not Constable 3.
Yeah,
He put the wrong, he submitted the wrong information.
Yeah.
5.7, the claim docket, general fund, 1,888,270,098 Dimmitt County Airport, 2,276.17 Dimmitt County Golf Course, 14,487.67 Courthouse Security, 6,190.28 Records Management County Clerk, 1,564.53 Utilities, 56,733.55 Stone Garden, 40,411.21 Operation Lone Star, 16,257.30 Dimmitt County Payroll, 671,639.64 Tax note series 23, 1,525,653.42 MHMA Pathway to Recovery, 5,463.83 Seals 2018, 10,000, SB 22, 23,384.68 Opiate Abatement Fund, $24,118.10 for a grand total of $4,286,451.36.
I have a question, too. Mr. Pereira, I saw some payments to Geo, correct? Is there still, an allocated amount that's left to pay, or
Yes,
there is?
yes, we have retainage on everybody.
Entertain a motion?
Judge, NHM Pathway to Recovery, is that a new account?
That's the grant, Commissioner Talamantes, the grant that we received.
And so that's how much you paid out of there?
That's how much was paid out of there, yes, out of that grant. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Mr. Pereira, do we still need to go
Yes.
just to,
The public hearing.
for the, on number 5, there's not a number on there, ladies and gentlemen, but this is to, where is it, Mr. Pereira? I was talking about, it's not on here.
So we can't vote or have a discussion on it.
Gotcha, thank you so much.
hearing. So,
And do you have any other comments regarding that? This is the one for the tax abatement for Mr.
Right.
Amber, right?
yes, and he mentions that we have to have the guidelines, and that's what this is. Basically, it's just a public hearing to update the guidelines, and so that we can do the final,
Offer.
accept the final offer from the Solar Shakes people that we had discussed at the last meeting, but we have to have this done. If we have to change the abatement, which we are doing that, we have to have a we have to update the guidelines that we have, and so we have to have a public hearing and go through the whole process. And so once we finish with that, then we can go into and finalize the new abatement.
So at this time, is there any comments, public comments?
What are we notifying?
It's for the tax abatement, if it needs to be changed, which we're trying to change because of the solar shakes. We have to have a public hearing to see if any members of the public have an opportunity to be heard regarding the proposed approval and adoption of the proposed guidelines, which are attached as this order number, and then a request for Commissioner's Court to, have any comments on that, but is there any public comment?
He's available by phone, I think.
Is there any public comments from the public? No public comment? At this time, I will, if there's any discussion by the Commissioners Court, I will entertain a motion pursuant to Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code and other authorities' consideration of approval and adoption of the proposed Dimmit County, Texas guidelines and criteria for tax abatement and other economic development and all related matters.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Uranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. The time is 1:16, and I am going to call the Public Facilities meeting to order. 1.2, roll call, let the record reflect, we do have a quorum, all parties are present. 1.3, approval of minutes of regular meeting, May 18th, 2026.
Subject to no corrections, so moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera, and have a second by Commissioner Uranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 2.1, discussion and appropriate action to secure quotes for the roof repair or replacement at CSBP. You're asking for quotes, or what are you asking for, Commissioner?
So, hold on, give me 1 second, I'm trying to. So, the Board of Appeals Station had called in a contractor that provided us with a quote prior to us getting the approval of Commissioner's Court to get a quote for the roof repairs on the Board of Appeals Station. I understand that it was an action taken out that we should have came to Commissioner's Court first and then asked for, to see if we can get quotes and then go through that process, but again, the Board of Appeals Station was the one that contracted this vendor and they came out, and so we just didn't wanna miss the opportunity. I can kinda show you all guys a little bit, but I only have one copy, a little bit of what they're dealing with on the roof repair. So this motion is just to approve of me to get quotes, because keep in mind, we also just did approve through the last Commissioner's Court to allow the company to get a countywide, quote on all our buildings. So this is, yes, so I'm gonna wait for that.
No action?
I just want, no, I do want an action to approval for me to get the quote, because I did get the quote. I didn't have the permission of Commissioner's Court to go out for quotes or bids for the roof repair at the Board of Appeals Station.
Does she need permission?
Well, she's asking for it to get.
Well, cause
Yeah.
they already did it, the station did it, so I took it, whenever the station called the company down, we went ahead and took the opportunity and still showed them and
She's
got the
not
quote.
asking for us to approve that, she's asking for permission to go get other quotes.
Right.
No, just for this quote, because we might still just approve the other
Yeah,
one.
but you're asking for us to approve this quote, or you're asking to go get more quotes?
Just approval for the, water patrol station to receive quotes for the roof repair.
Right.
And we can do that.
No, but she's asking for approval, so now she's gonna go on and get it, so next meeting, you're gonna come back and
So I already have the company from the last company, and this one was just taken in before the fact. And just for transparency reasons and to be honest, I just wanted to go ahead and put it through to let you know that I did receive a quote without the approval of Commissioner's Court because the station called their own vendor out.
Right.
But they did provide Dimmit County with the quote for the repair of the roof. I'm not gonna go out for more quotes though. I'm gonna wait to see what, the entire audit shows.
But I thought we were gonna do the whole group.
Well, see, yes, but we're gonna wait for the company that we just approved because we did that, letter of interest with, what is the name of the company? It slipped the top of my head right now.
Oh, okay.
Schneider Electric. But this one came before, so we're technically still getting quotes right now. This one just came before the approval.
But that's for the roof, isn't it? I mean,
Yes,
and Schneider's doing the roof?
yes, Schneider was,
Schneider Electric was approved for us to go and review all the utilities and stuff like that for the whole county.
Including the roof?
but it would also include like structural changes to the building. So like if he thinks
Okay.
that the installation or like the roof or whatever it would be, then he would contract all that work because the main goal is to lower down the electric bill to be able to offset the cost of the repairs.
So if it needs additional installation, that's what they would recommend?
Yes. So I don't want just an approval to go out and get quotes for the roof, but not the approval of this quote. For clarifications.
Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.2, discussion and appropriate action, submit border patrol report.
Yeah, I have the report right here. Judge, so I also was gonna ask you as well, I'm not too sure if this kind of fell under the same situation of where you wanted it in person and every 3 months and a report every month, I'm sorry, excuse me. But I also have a little bit of concerns because not all the departments are doing the reports as we had agreed, and it's becoming a little bit concerning because Commissioner's Court did rule. So, again, this is the report for this month. I know that we haven't seen a report from the sports complex. I know that we're at the end. I would very much like to see a report from there. I just think that all the departments, and especially with that one coming up to close pretty soon, I just think that for transparency reasons and for our oaths, we need to start sending our reports to Commissioner's Court.
So this is your report?
Yes, ma'am. That's for the board of
Any
Education.
questions on the border patrol report?
Can I get a copy? For the
Yes, we'll
minutes.
give you a copy for the minutes. I'll put it right here.
Thank you. I can give her mine because I have that in my office. I can keep hers with that.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Name docket,
Let me find it.
2.3, Judge.
2.3, I'm sorry, 2.3 new business.
No, just the report that is on there.
There's no action was made on it. The name docket. Public safety, $5,785.95.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. I entertain a motion to recess and adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?